Hello everyone! Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy middle of the week, happy 2 days before Friday. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Are we all having a good day? I hope so. Also, I do apologize for yesterday because I didn't realize that I'm still getting used to this split screen mode within Streamlabs. So I was making adjustments to the sound when me and Friendo were talking yesterday, and I didn't realize I was changing the sound on the wrong slide. So when I went back over the VOD, you could barely hear me. I was like, oh no. Oh no. So I felt really, really bad. But I have learned from my mistakes. Maybe. Maybe not. So hopefully that won't happen again. Whatever kind of scuffness that seems to go on today. Oh, I almost knocked my phone over. That would have been bad. But what's going on with everybody? Ooh! I got a follow from Basil. Thank you so much, Basil. If you're here right now, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. If you're here, I hope you're doing good today. I know today was supposed to be really busy for you. Man, I was expecting that today was going to be a little bit more eventful, at least for what we're going to be playing today. I figured, you know, I was so set. Yes, we're going to do some gacha rolls. We're going to have an up and down emotional roller coaster. And then we're going to go and do the story. But apparently we're just going to do the story. Which, I mean, it's totally fine, but I really just... This wait for just this episode of Gacha Hell, whether it be live or on video, has been, like, killing me a little bit. I'm just turning down the music. Has been killing me a little bit, because, like, I have been waiting for Arjuna Ultra to come out for, like, the past freaking, what? Like, 6+ months since I found out that he exists in JP. And now this here is like, can I roll down? Can I roll down? I'm tired of waiting, can I roll down? The nice thing is, it's just this, and then, like, Edmond Dantes in June are going to be my 2 big goals for gacha rolls. So, beyond that, I don't think I'll be doing much this year. Maybe some, like, random ones here and there towards, like, the end of the year. Maybe doing a few, like, random banners here and there, like the one for Saber Wars with Space Ishtar. But beyond that, nah. I think after Edmond, I think I'm good. Well, until next year, and then I cry. But, you know, details. Details. But yeah, what's going on with everybody? Hopefully, I don't know, everybody's time zone seems to be different, so, or is different, I should say. So, hopefully, whether it be morning, noon, or night, the day is good. Or if the day is starting, hopefully the rest of the day is good. We're going to have a nice, comfy stream with just reading, us trying to take down an immortal god who likes to repeat the universe every so often. Just because they're bored. Something like that. Alright. I'm hoping that things don't necessarily break on me, because I know this game has been known to, or at least the connection with what I'm doing has been known to cut out here and there. Because reasons. I don't know why it decides to want to do that, but it just does. So, yeah, we'll just see what happens, I guess. Alright, I think that, I think I just want to get into the game because I just want to read stuff. I really want to get into Lostbelt 4. Like, this is, I'm even excited to see the story. Now that I'm actually caught up, for once. No, let me rephrase that. I'm semi-caught up. I'm caught up with all the Lostbelts. I'm not caught up in, like, the subplot after the main, the Fate Grand Order story. Still gotta do that. Maybe I'll do that in my meantime while in between this. I don't know. Probably the perfect time to do so. Anyway! Everything looks good. Oh, I am way over there. Alright, everything looks good. Let's go move on. Didn't plan that out. Okay. We're here. Sound seems to be coming out very well, which is nice. Let me, and you at home, let me know if the volume is too low on your end or too high or anything like that. Want to make sure everybody is able to hear things as we dive into this lovely adventure of ours. I have no idea what to expect, but because of the reputation of Arjuna Alter in this story, I'm kind of scared. I feel like he's gonna, the first time I meet him, he's going to wreck my day, and I want no part of that. Honestly, I just want to roll for him so I can have him and then wreck other people's day. Not the reverse. We know how that works, right? Right? Right. Anyway, let's get into it then, I suppose. As far as everybody who's new here, who doesn't know anything about Fate Grand Order, a quick, minute rundown. Basically, the Fate Stay Night universe deals with the idea of the Holy Grail War, which 7 mages summon 7 servants, all of different classes, similar to an RPG, where they all go into a battle royale where the last one standing gets master and servant, which are the summons. Last one standing get to make a wish. In this particular universe of Fate, the world went to shit because an entity decided to go and in its attempt to quote-unquote save humanity, decided to fuck with humanity in as far as the timelines to basically essentially just screw up time enough to where, I guess, gain enough power from the distortions in reality to be able to recreate reality in their own image. It's a bit convoluted, but the long and short of it is we fixed that, and now we are in this shit of the Lostbelt, which are separate universes, which are pocket universes in the world of historic events that have gone wrong. We've done already 3 of them. The first one in Russia, with dealing with Ivan the Terrible. The second one was actually in another snow-related area, which is Scandinavia. And then the third one was in China. The China one was interesting. Though I will say this, the story, the intro and the story for the first Lostbelt was really good. And I was just super stoked to be able to go and just read through that one. I think I had to skip towards the end. I need to go back and just finish reading up what happened. But it was really good. And then the other 2 weren't bad either. Though I will say in the third Lostbelt, the one of the fights during one of the main servants, which is Consort U, an assassin servant, was a bit of a bitch. Gotta love those mechanics where the game decides to break. You know what? Let's give the enemy immediately to spam their limit breaks. Because why not? Anyway. But essentially for this 4th Lostbelt, we're going to be fixing another world. And this one, I believe, this is going to be the Indian Lostbelt, if memory serves me correctly, where we're going to be dealing with a dark god who likes to go and change the universe at their will. At least the pocket universe. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Meanwhile, or last time, in Fate Grand Order, the Lostbelt Saga. On December 31st, 2019, the entirety of human history was erased through the Seagull Stroke. Oh yeah, that's what really started this thing. Basically, this outer god went ahead and just destroyed the entire world. Basically, the world looks like this now. And all of humanity, about 99% of humanity, is gone. So yeah, it sucks. Especially after 6 months beforehand, we had saved the world. Or was it a year beforehand? I don't know. It was one of the 2. Anyway. Every trace of civilization was wiped out, and in its place, the earth was left a bleached wasteland. No one knew why or how it was done. All that was clear is that humanity had been utterly defeated. That's after our victory against doing that again, beating, saving humanity. So, but details. No, it's worse than that. We never even had a chance to fight back. Yeah, it was basically just things fall from the sky, world gets bleached out, we die. The end. Our destroyer was known as the Foreign God, a being from a distant star wielding unfathomable power. It happens to look like somebody we know. Anity, or humanity. We have a message for all humanity. Kristaria. Kristaria is based, for those who are new, Kristaria is one of the 7 masters that's actually working with this outer god. Each of them have a servant of their own. For each Lostbelt, there's going to be 7 of them. He's the leader of the group known as the Ciphers, which are basically the hands of the, or the enforcers of this outer god. Their goal? Create a universe, prove together and create a universe that could be big enough to replace human history, and then in turn, allow the outer god to manifest in the world. Right now they can't. This planet will soon be reborn as an old, brand new world. Human civilization was a mistake. The path of our growth was incorrect. And so, I made my decision. I will revolt against all of human history, proper human history. We are about to fill this world with inhuman mystic secrets. We will restore the Age of Gods. Or at least he will, because his Lostbelt is basically focused on the Age of Gods, Zeus and all that. To that end, the gods have descended from a far-off galaxy, and in their wisdom, they have used 7 seeds to select new leaders, aka the Ciphers. These leaders will remake this planet as they see fit, and the one who reigns supreme shall be given the right to renew the world itself. So basically, like I said, each of the 7 masters, which hilariously enough are from the same organization, Chaldea, which is where we're from. They were the original 7 masters that were going to try to go off to fix the world when the shit originally hit the fan. They got them, and basically all the other servants, masters in reserve, got screwed up, either got severely hurt or nearly died, and it was left to us. And they're pissed about it. Or mostly pissed, anyway. The life form from proper human history will not be permitted to take part in this war, or even to view it from the sidelines. Trees of creations have sprung up across the land. Now, all of the old humanity's endeavors will be set aside, frozen. My name is Woldheim, Kristaria Woldheim. On behalf of the 7 Ciphers, I have a message for those of you who escaped from Chaldea. That's us! No, rather, I have a message for the scant few remnants of human race. We will be the inheritors of this planet's history. I'll try to explain stuff as we go along to the new people. Ciphers, 7 masters of the old Chaldea who were supposed to save the world. Daybit Sem Void, the guy on the left. Ophelia Farsalone. So far, we've dealt with 3 of these masters. Ophelia was from the 2nd Lostbelt in Scandinavia. Her servant is actually my favorite servant, it's Saber class servant, Sigurd, who is based after the story of Siegfried. For those of you who know, the one that killed Fafnir. Hold on, water break. Sorry. Daybit we haven't fought yet, which apparently Daybit's going to be the last lost. If we're going by JP, Daybit's going to have the last Lostbelt, the 7th that we're going to have to be dealing with, which is weird because we think we would go with the leader last, but we actually take off the leader in the 5th Lostbelt, which is actually coming at the end of this year. I don't know why, but I'm curious to see how that goes. But Daybit, if memory serves me correctly, he has a Berserker servant, or a Grand Berserker servant, which is supposed to be stronger than a regular Berserker servant, which is probably why I'd saved the last. I'm scared. Barrow Gut, Kados Zebulus. Kados was actually who we dealt with in the first Lostbelt, and he's still alive. Barrow Gut we haven't fought yet, but he's coming after this one. In Lostbelt 6. Or what's happening JP right now. Akuta Hinako. Scandinavia Pepperonsico. Actually, Scandinavia is who we're going to be dealing with this time. This is his Lostbelt. Akuta was from the Sin Lostbelt, or the Chinese Lostbelt. Her story is actually really interesting. I think her story is really interesting of how she comes to be. And then, of course, their leader and their supposed leader, the foremost disciple. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Cut out. Hold, please. I don't know why I did that. God damn it. I don't know why it does this sometimes. It'll catch up in just a moment. There we go. Gotta go back. And their supposed leader, the foremost disciple of Chaldea's first director, Shistaria Woldheim. Now recall that. But no one had ever been certain they were still alive. But no sooner had they awoken than they turned on the world they had been meant to protect. Okay, we're good now. I don't know why that cuts out like that. Oh, look, a tree! Chosen by the foreign god, the 7 ciphers were entrusted with caring for the trees of emptiness. The enormous trees that appear around the world after it's scorched, or getting bleached, essentially. Each tree of emptiness was followed by a Lostbelt, a hypothetical history that had been pruned from chronicles of history. It's an interesting concept of how pruning works in the Fate universe. Essentially, in the Fate universe, it does follow the different multi-dimensional theory, where basically, or the branching theory, where certain decisions go off into different universes. However, the universe itself is like a computer, and like a computer only has but so much memory that it can keep. So it can't keep all those timelines. So what it does, and after a certain point, if a history devolves way too far from the way it's supposed to be, from the main timeline, it gets pruned or destroyed. The Lostbelts are essentially 7 histories, or 7 alternate histories, that were supposed to be pruned, but because of these tree of emptinesses are allowed to exist in the world. Essentially going away from the nose of the universe. Once we destroy the tree of emptiness, however, the universe goes away, and it's restored, and that kind of distortion of the universe goes away. Like I said, pretty cool concept. There was the Russian Lostbelt, where humans had fused with beasts in order to survive an ultra-cold environment. Yeah, God, what were they called? There's a whole society of them, basically these human beast people. All led by Ivan the Great, or Ivan the Terrible, who actually fused himself with like a mythic mammoth. He looks monstrous. It's awesome. There was the Scandinavian Lostbelt, one of my personal favorites because of who's there, where a Ragnarok god Arai had robbed the world of any possible future. Essentially, Ragnarok it's the world where, in Norse mythology, Ragnarok was supposed to destroy everything and lead to the Age of God, the end of the Age of Gods. In this particular case, Ragnarok never happened, and the fire god Surtur basically killed everybody except for one goddess, Skadi. And so the world continues on in that kind of pocket dimension of the world, essentially keeping Surtur at bay. It was really sad. But it had Brynhildr, which is one of my favorite Lancer servants, or my favorite Lancer servant next to Mama Lancer, also known as Skahak. And then Sigurd. And the Valkyrie are in it too. Oh my god, I love the Valkyrie. I'm sorry, gushing over. Moving on. And then there was the Chinese Lostbelt, where a single ruler who achieved immortality carried the rest of mankind on their shoulders. Yeah, that emperor was actually, no, that emperor wasn't so much of a bitch, or would have been a bitch if I didn't curve stomp him into oblivion. And he was a ruler too, who was supposed to be like, RPG-wise, they're like defensive against all other servant types, so they take half damage. They're tanks. It's really bad. These and other Lostbelts were to grow their territory, with one emerging triumphant becoming Earth's official history. So basically just the slight white kingdom of old history, and then these Lostbelts are going to fight together to see which one sticks around. As far as the ciphers were concerned, their only enemy, or rather competition, was the other ciphers, competing to establish their Lostbelt's dominance. The few remnants of the old human history, Chaldea, were no more than a tiny bump in their road. Yet we've taken out 3 Lostbelts already, so they should be scared shitless. Yeah, this scene is when old Chaldea got fucked up by Anastasia. Yes, that Anastasia. Anastasia's awesome servant. I love her. Before the world was wiped clean, the Cyphers had mounted an attack on the Chaldea Security Organization, or the CSO, headquarters to destroy them. And boy, was that a raid! My waifu was there. Chaldea was frozen solid, and ray shifting, the only possible means by which humanity could have prevented the Great Moon of Set, was lost. Ray shifting essentially is basically time travel, or a form of time travel. More complicated. Aww! And then we have this scene, because of that bastard. Gotta bitch slap him when I see him. Yep, and then we got exploded. But though many lives were lost, and the survivors were forced to make a desperate retreat, the last master of Chaldea still lived. Yay! Thanks to the Shadow Border, the all-terrain void transporter that had been developed in secret by Leonardo da Vinci and Sherlock Holmes, and its cross-dimensional zero-sail traversal method, basically going in between dimensions, the survivors successfully escaped into void space, the space between dimensions. Having evaded the Great Reset, they emerged in the Russian Lostbelt a few months later, in April of 2020, of this new history. They went to defeat Kadok Zemplis, the cipher assigned to the Russian Lostbelt, overthrow the Lostbelt King, Ivan the Terrible, and cut down its Tree of Emptiness. That was a fight. Then, after another battle in the Scandinavian Lostbelt, they arrived at the Wandering Sea, a workshop that was home to the only other survivors of humanity. Now, they have gained a new ally in Sion Eltam, an alchemist from the Atlas Institute left in charge of the Wandering Sea. Long story short, the mages in this world, there's 3 main branches. Atlas is one of them. They focus on alchemy. They live in an island that's in another dimension, and they only come out on New Year's. To our world. And are setting out on the next step of their quest to defeat the Cyphers of the Foreign God. Yay, recaps! Filling in the blanks as we go. So, was that... Thank you, Sion, I appreciate it! So, how was that recap? Did I do a good job jogging your memory? Huh? What about the other things that... Like it was yesterday! Because it really was, or like 2 days ago. Yes, you glossed over a number of things, but that's basically the long and short of it. Hello, Bosch. Nice to see you again. Bosch is actually the first servant that we get, or what they call a pseudo-servant, which is a human, and a compatible human, and a soul of a servant fused together in one body. They are a servant, they still are a servant in every sense of the word, but they typically take on the form of characters that we know from the Fate franchise. Bosch, in our case, is actually the pseudo-servant for the soul of Lord Galahad, who was one of the Knights of the Round Table, uses a shield. And then there's others that from the Fate Stay Night universe that if anybody's seen anything from Fate, they might recognize. Excuse me, sorry about that. Oh, well, there goes my top. Well, hopefully I don't knock that over and make a mess. Crap. Hold, please. Hold, please. Hold, please. Ah! Okay, we're good. Sorry. And that didn't cut out somehow. Weird. Anyway, it has now been a few months since you've returned from the Chinese Lostbelt and were poisoned. That was annoying going through that. Basically, one of your main abilities, which is like, you as the master can give buffs to your servants. You basically was put on a cooldown for the entire Chinese Lostbelt because you were quote-unquote poisoned. Wasn't really that, it just made things brutally long in some cases, or annoying, like in the boss fights. They definitely have fun with these harder fights. Once you're all rested up, I'm going to have you head out on your next order, Lostbelt number 4, where you will investigate a strange Lostbelt that has been repeatedly expanding in contrast. Like a heartbeat? I have a feeling that might be good. We should probably avoid that Lostbelt. I like that idea. Can we go to the other Lostbelt, please? 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 Moreover, the captain will be joining in on your adventure into the dazzling realm of Indian mythology. That don't seem too bad, right? Right. Ta-dong! Of course, if I had known that then it would take this long to get ready, I would not have hyped it up quite so much. My original calculations had me modifying, convincing Captain a bit sooner than this. Also, Captain is her servant, who I don't think it's been revealed in the story just yet, but is Captain Nemo of the Nautilus. One of my personal favorite stories from, like, the Legion of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Don't judge me, I love that movie. Hey, it wasn't your fault we all got caught up in that ordeal. Honestly, I'm just glad we're able to verify that we can actually race shift again. Oh! We're race shifting back, yay! Indeed. We now know for certain that we are able to race shift from the Wandering Sea as well as from Chaldea. Looking good as always, Sherlock. Sherlock's actually a servant that I really would like to get. Fun little story. Sherlock was actually, when I was a bit younger and doing, like, more crack writing, like fanfics and stuff like that, I had the idea to create my old Holy Grail War. And one of my 7 servants was actually Sherlock Holmes as an archer because he used the gun. Which, hilariously enough, actually came true with his counterpart, James Moriarty, but for different reasons. So, kind of called it? Kind of? I'm going to say I called it. But he's actually a ruler class. It's pretty cool. I hope I get him one day. While the ability to observe time and space outside the Lostbelt may not help in our efforts to remove them, having more options available can only be a good thing. Though, that's not to say some of us aren't a bit worse for wear. I say, Director Giraffe, has your weight returned to normal yet? It has. Not that I'd had any say in the matter. Oh, I kind of skipped that there. Not that I say in the matter. I still don't think it's right that I was the only one who didn't get to go on break. Nor do I see why we need an obsolete relic like grave shifting when we have the Zero Cell. Go on, Moody. You know I'm right. Tell them how you and the whole staff are just as sick and tired of grave shifting as I am. What are you talking about? They're both mind-blowing technology achievements. You just gotta use them right. Also, I was on the staff of the original Chaldea too, so if anything, I'm more used to race shifting. So, yeah, we only have a small few people from the original Chaldea that actually is with us here. Moody here is actually from, we had a bit of a taste of his taste, I guess, back in the 2nd chapter when we visited France, or also the universe of France. It was cool. You agree with me, right, Sealus? Race shifting is way more fun than zero sailing, isn't it? Honestly, neither one is exactly walk in the book. And 2, boy? Ah, why did I have to be born so race shift compatible? Oh, never mind that, all that. Sion, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. We know that now that the Cypher's accursed leader, Histaria Waldheim, is in the Atlantic Lostbelt, which is racing the Age of the Gods. We're gonna have to deal with Zeus and them. It's going to be horrifying, especially once we see what he can do. Yeah. Apparently we have to fight him, like him, as a person, or a mage, against a bunch of servants, and he whoops our ass. It's great, apparently. I'm also told it's the largest of the Lost. It's the largest of the Lostbelts. Oh, hold on, that goes too quick. It's told it's the largest Lostbelt in the world by far, and that the branches of the Tree of Emptiness covers Earth's entire atmosphere. AKA, it's the one that everybody's expecting to win this war of the universes. So what possible point could there be in making a pit stop at this Lostbelt in India? It is not a pit stop. We need to go there to ensure our chances of victory are as high as possible. According to the Trismetius, the ocean occupies most of the Atlantic Lostbelt territory. And we are not talking a modern-day ocean here. We're talking about one from the Age of Gods, filled to the brim with ether and demonic beast. As things stand right now, we have no way of crossing an ocean like that safely. If you were to enter the Atlantic Lostbelt now, you would end up as so much sea. You would just end up as so much seaweed. I see. Does that mean we can't get there at the border? I'm afraid not. Sion and I have been talking about it, and we both came to the conclusion that it's just not possible to make the border seaworthy while preserving its existing functionalities. Just because it can sail in voicement doesn't mean it can do the same in reality space. Each ocean requires a completely different means of traversal. And since the border is an all-terrain void transporter, we can't allocate that many resources only to make it capable of sailing on real water. I guess we could technically do it if we made the hull bigger, but if we did that, we wouldn't have nearly enough staff to run it. A vehicle that size would need at least 60 professionals to be operated. To be operated. Can you guess what resources we are lowest on just now? I guess that would be human resources. Mooney and the rest of the board, I'm not even trying to pronounce Mooney's name. Mooney and the rest of the border staff are all doing their best, but... Right, so you are going to acquire what we need in the Lostbelt. Bow? Fowl's adorable. They're a horrible demonic monstrosity. So, you want us to recruit more people there? No, nothing like that. We already know that you can't bring anything native to a Lostbelt outside it, right? Yeah, I kind of wonder about that. I mean, of course, the masters or the ciphers and us, we gotta kind of go in between as we so please. But that's interesting that it makes sense that we can't bring anything out of that universe because it's kind of contained in that universe. No, this is a simple matter of earthbound coordinates. India has everything we currently lack, so we're going to go there and get it all in one fell swoop. Is that not right, Captain? We're all done making adjustments and attachments over here. All you have to do now is personally activate the Aeronux Phantasm in India and attach it. Yes, I'll go with them. It's been several months since I started helping out with the border maintenance. Also, yes, Captain, aka Captain Nemo. Again, I don't think we know who Captain is personally right now, but they're an interesting case. They're an interesting rider server. I like the way that they that Nemo's lore has been kind of operated here, or at least it's been. That's the one thing with the Fate servants. The Fate franchise has done a great job with most servants, I imagine. Just taking the lore that we know of certain historical / fictional heroes, and then turning on their head to kind of fit in this unique world. Not just like changing the genders or anything, but like actually making their lore like a heavy part of their character and their abilities as servants. Like, perfect example is the ability of like Hercules in his 12 labors, which actually gets translated into life bars. So basically, he has, for each labor of the 12 labors, he has a stock of life. So essentially, you have to kill him 13 times in 13 unique ways to kill him for good. So shit like that is really cool. And that he's not the only server that has lore like that. There's a bunch of other stuff just like that. Like, this game, or this series, is like one big old Dungeons & Dragons world with all its different lores and mechanics and just all a bunch of different things. It's cool. It's great. It might be as slow as a sea turtle, but I can't help but have some affection for it after all this time. And I know the Phantasm needs to be activated very carefully with a precise ritual and only at a particular coordinates. I don't know if we can use it in a Lostbelt or not, but we'll never know unless we try. That said, I'm the one who's going to decide what becomes of it, what it becomes. That part is non-negotiable. And if I decide it's not going to work, I'm going to come back on my own. Got that, Sion? Sure, as your master, I'm okay with that. Though I seriously doubt you're capable of being so heartless. Yeah, even though Nero likes to act tough or deluded or tough and everything like that, Nero's actually pretty cool people. Apparently, and Nero's a servant too, who's actually has really good abilities that you can only activate in certain circumstances. I I'm still going to summon Nemo because Nemo's actually the rider servant that I originally had in mind for my fanfiction. Before I decided it was Achilles, who actually became a servant, Nemo, who now is a servant, and funny enough, the last one for a rider servant was Van Helsing for me. Really interesting. What are you talking about? We're talking about my coming along with you to India. I thought you'd already been told about that. Da Vinci, do you remember seeing a steel pyramid-shaped object somewhere around the dock? Well, it's mine. I'd like you to store it in the border for me. In the worst case, we could use it as a shield. Oh, you mean that weird-looking thing that almost seems like a part of a car body kit? Aha! Is that the Aronnax Phantasm thing you were just talking about? Yeah. It's not much use for a mermaid that can swim around the ocean freely, though. I can't say I know what you're talking about, but the more servants around who can keep me safe, the better. Gerdoff is a bit of a person, a thing. Yeah. Thanks? Anyway, glad to be here, everyone. Oh, and don't worry about my seat. I've already installed one for me, and it only takes up half of Mooney's space. Whoa, really? That means Captain's gonna be sitting next to me? This might be my big chance to show what I'm made of. I can't wait to get started. Mooney's just constantly trying to prove himself. Alright. But is that our only objective in India? Does this mean we don't have to cut down its tree of emptiness? No. We will definitely be needing to eliminate the Indian Lostbelt while you're there. Given that it seems to be indirectly responsible for the recent ray shift incident. The Indian Lostbelt. There is a very good chance that these histories that were pruned away after they were deemed unnecessary contain significant and unprecedented threats. I have determined that we cannot leave this Lostbelt be just because it is low on our priorities. Besides, there is still so much we do not know, and not just about the Tree of Emptiness. What is going on with the ciphers, who are the alter egos claiming to be disciples of the foreign gods? By the way, alter egos are a type of servant that is basically, how do they describe it? It's almost like an alternate version of an existing servant. What's a good way to describe this? Essentially, similar, the same character, but basically it's like an alternate version of the character that is their own entity. Not like an alternate personality or like an alternate form per se, but essentially like, excuse me. What's a good way to describe it? An example. Tamama no Mai, which is actually my personal favorite servant, in the Fate universe, actually has 9 tails, or used to have 9 tails, because she is a fox deity. In a situation where I'm not going to explain, she essentially used the ability to get all her 9 tails back because she originally didn't have them, and when she used that power, each of the 9 tails became their own separate beings. All those separate beings can be considered as alter egos because while they are from a single servant, they are separate entities from that servant. So, like, just alternate versions of a person, of the servant in question. And in this particular case, we have 3 alter egos. One of which has been running around as actually, hilariously enough, one of those 8 other tails I was talking about from Tamama no Mai. Tamama Vish. I forget who she is actually known as. She's like she's a fox demon from Chinese lore, if I remember correctly. Every Lostbelt we investigate provides us with more data. Searless, Mosh. Searless is me. Mosh, Da Vinci, Jarth, Mooney. As the one supervising the command room, and as someone personally wishing for your success, there's something I wish to say. You need to eliminate every Lostbelt. We have no choice but to fight, regardless of how painful that choice is. You need to eliminate them both to improve our chances of victory during the inevitable climactic confrontation and to return human history to its proper place. I don't know how that's going to work, but sure. Considering the fact that all of human history is just wiped out. Unless with, like, reverse time or something like that. Sion. Whoops. Scratch that. I should have known better than to get overly serious before you have even headed out on the mission. I'm sure we'll run into more than enough trouble in the Lostbelt, so we should at least try to enjoy ourselves while we're in the base. Alright, that's all for now. Please make sure to review the particulars of the mission on your mobile devices. This order will commence at dawn. Be sure to get plenty of sleep and come to the docks by the time we agreed on. Roger that! I'm excited. I'm excited to die by a dark god! Oh, I'm out. I'm walking around. Hi, Da Vinci. Also, this is Tiny Da Vinci. Other Da Vinci died, but she's okay. But this Da Vinci's fine now. Da Vinci? Hello, Da Vinci. Is Da Vinci sleeping or lost in thought? Is she sleep standing? Oh, Seerless, what's up? We have less than 6 hours until the mission starts. You should head back to your room and get some rest. I doubt we'll have many chances to get a full night's sleep once we're in the Lostbelt. Who knows when you'll get another chance to stay in bed that doesn't rock. Or in a bed that doesn't rock. You might want to check your watch. Huh? It's already time? Have I been sleeping standing up this whole time? That's actually impressive if that was the case. Oopsie. I didn't really want to go back to my workshop, so I guess I ended up resting my eyes first a little longer than I meant to. Well, I feel silly. Anyway, go ahead and head down to the docks. I'll catch up with you guys soon. Bye, Da Vinci. It's cool that she's able to... Where did she get the roller skates? I heard rolling, I was like, wait, did she have roller skates before I even read that? That's awesome. Oh my god, did she have like the roller skate shoes that like pop out? Does she have like the little roller skates with like the little wheelies on her boots? Oh my god, that'd be amazing. She had like little wheelies. Somebody draw that, please. I mean, I should draw that. I don't know. Hold on. I'm giving myself a little bit more back support. We're trying to get closer to the mic. Like my chair is actually rather far. So, well, not anymore now. It's actually a little bit closer. Oh, that's hot. As I had thought, Da Vinci is having some operational difficulties. When did you get here, Nessa? I have been behind you for some time. You must have been so focused on Da Vinci that you didn't notice. In any case, this is a good chance to tell you this. You can't let Da Vinci push herself too much. She is doing everything Leonardo da Vinci would be doing, but while in a much smaller body. Yeah, so I imagine that she could get tired real easy because she's tiny. She's tiny Da Vinci. Tiny. Lala Vinci? Is she a Lalafo in disguise? I don't know. Anyway. That's a Hall, by the way, is a server that we met in Lostbelt 3. The Chinese Lostbelt. That obviously puts tremendous strain on her now. You must be aware of that. She may have inherited Leonardo da Vinci's duties, but she is a pseudo-servant just like Masha's. We may differ in format, but she and I are very similar. I understand how she is feeling. Oh, hold please. 1 second, please. Is there a way to better do this? Hold please. Need to make a quick change. Why doesn't let me do it from here? That's unfortunate. Huh, that's interesting. Boop. I think that's how that works. No, hold on. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the, like, how this thing works. Or can I do it from here? No, it's not letting me do it from here either. Interesting. Huh. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. I got it. Sorry about that. Had to take care of the thing. Back to the thing. Oh. No, scratch that. I do not know how she is feeling. Da Vinci is so strong. I don't think we ever get an explanation as far as why she goes and talks like this, but I don't know, I think it's kind of adorable. I said too much. My apologies. So please keep this between us, promise? I am coming along to the Indian Lostbelt. I hope we can continue to get along. Glad to have you with us again, you adorable being. Understood. I promise I will not let you down. That said, the jewel in my chest is acting up a bit. I don't think this has ever happened to me before. The Indian Lostbelt is a very bad place. Every part of my spirit's origin is warning me not to go. Yeah, wonder why. Probably doesn't have anything to do with a dark god or anything like that, I'm sure. Even so, every Lostbelt is dangerous. I am the crown Prince Nezaha. Forgot Nezaha's a guy. Still cute though. The crown Prince Nezaha. I must not back down from a challenge. If things go bad, I know you will help me. I'm sure I have nothing to worry about. Let's go. The others are waiting. My apologies. I forgot they were Prince. They were late. I thought whatever. Oh man, sorry I'm late. I can't believe it took so long to get ready. It looks like you're all here. Then let us begin the final rundown. Your destination is the Indian Lostbelt. Your objective is to help Captain to gain experience point. Experience points? I mean, you're not wrong! I mean, power up the Shadow Border, explore the Indian Lostbelt, and ultimately eliminate it. So we're gonna nuke it from the sky! Before we get nuked. By, you know, Dark Gods. Captain and I will handle the Shadow Border side of things, so please do not concern yourself with that. What I would like to know, what I'd like to focus on, Master Sealist, is cutting down the Indian Tree of Emptiness. That totally won't be hard to do, I promise. I estimate you should have room in the forward to fit about 20 days worth of supplies, so we have to do this in 20 days or otherwise we die. While the Adorex Phantasm will be loaded into the hangar as supplementary equipment, you will not need to account for it in battle, as it is not meant for offensive purposes. Okay. I take it we will be summoning reinforcement servants within the Lostbelt again, as we have done thus far. Correct. From here, you will need to travel across void space to get close to the Indian Lostbelt. And from there, you will need to immediately undergo another zero sail in order to make your way inside. Consecutively, zero sails are draining even for servants, and Da Vinci protection safeguards can only do so much. So, I think it'd be best if we keep no more than 3 servants on standby in the border. Then, no matter how many servants we bring over to our side in the future, we'll only be able to take 3 of them into the Lostbelt with us? That's how it works, yes. That's how it works out, yes. I'm not saying we can never send more than 3 servants if we have to. But the servants summoned inside the Lostbelt are more powerful anyway. So when you get there, I would like you to secure a ley line and use Master's Holy Relic to form a contract with New Hero Experience, just like you have in other Lostbelts. That's another thing too. Mosh is actually the key to summoning servants in this game. Her, basically using her shield, or Sir Galahad's shield, she actually does a ritual that allows you to summon servants into existence with the help of science. It's kind of cool how that works out. If you notice, like, when you're doing, like, gotcha rolls, like, in the middle, if there's actually, like, the little shield, which I think is kind of cool. My throat's getting dry for all this reading, but it's good reading. I like it. It's good story, it's good. Alright then. As the Wandering Sea commanding groups of supervisor, I have an order for those of you on the field team. As of this moment, Novum Chaldea will be transitioning to its first battle position. Field team, go ahead and board the border, starting with Master Sealers. Once I have confirmation all of your files are green, you will begin a zero sail. And officially commence Order Lostbelt number 4, along with its suborder, Horde Monster. Make sure you all give in everything you have, and I look forward to your safe return. To be honest, I really need to catch up on the story of this, because honestly, to be able to catch up and be able to stream some of this stuff, plus do certain events, I had to skip a lot of events and stuff. Which, now that I think about it, there is an event coming up soon, so I'm kind of curious to see if we need to do Lostbelt. Actually, that's not a hold, please. Let me... God damn it. FGO. I'm just generally curious to see, and this will be good information for everybody else who's going to be playing and doing the games. Let's look at the schedule here for my normal site. Wow, this is a weird format. Yeah, let's do this one. This is the one that we're in now, right? Oh, no. I went way too far. Whoopsie doodle, sorry. Oh, now we're good. I saw one of the servers I actually wanted to get soon. I'm like, am I in the right year? Because I feel like I should be able to summon you now, or at least his summoning campaign should be coming up soon. According to this, the Guna event that's coming up. Oh, for Yuki! Okay, I'm good then. We're not far behind. I'm totally legitly fine then. Yay! Anyway, section 1. Section 1 of Lostbelt 4. Where to set out. Or is this the... Or is this the prologue for Lostbelt 4? Activating Paper Moon. Initiating planet... Oh, god damn it. Just too quick sometimes. Initiating planet navigational chart plus and minus conversions. Commencing Shadow Borders docking sequence into reality boundaries. Proper human history resemblance C. Lostbelt death A. Firing existent verification tether into reality space. Anchor point a heroic spirit blank virtual nautical chart confirmed. 0 cells complete. Emerging into reality space. Here we go! To India! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Reality space anchored, secured. Reality verification complete. Establishing Shadow Borders' existence within Lostbelt. 0 cell returned successful. And here we are. Good. We made it back into reality space. Woo! Woo! Oh, that violent shaking never gets any easier. Are you okay, Master? I'm fine. This emergence felt like a lot for the one from Scandinavia. Boy, that was one. You don't say. You got good instincts, Cirrus. Heh, not so fast. Just take a look at how adeptly I'm carrying myself. Why, I'm the very picture of dignity. A 0 sail is no worse than a drive through the ring for me. Surely all that rattling must have been a dreadful sight, more difficult for a freshly summoned servant who's never had left that lukewarm base of yours, no? I feel quite powerless as a krill, one already in the whale's stomach at that. But never mind. So long as I'm at sea, even the most violent of people is a gentle breeze to me. I mean, considering who you are, yeah, that makes sense. Also, Jerome's a dick. If anyone should be worried about getting seasick, it's you guys. This ship could and should be more comfortable. In particular, I like to add a bit more in the way of padding into my cushion. A good captain must always take care of his crew, after all. Had I known how uncomfortable these chairs were, I would have prioritized making improvements. Hey, I'm glad to work together to keep the border system in good shape. But I'm not about to have you let go tinkering with tiny things like that on your own anytime soon. Even something as small as changing the air freshener we use in the bathroom could lead to fighting amongst the staff. I'm actually being a lot more considerate of everyone everyone on board than you might think, you know. That is good to hear, but this sort of problem that should have been addressed in the planning stages of creating this vessel. You might have the most advanced vessel in the world, but will do little good if your crew is too low spirits to make proper use of it. I guess the previous Da Vinci had no idea how difficult a voyage to sea could be. Ouch! Well, you had me there. The last version of me was a genius, but she was definitely kind of insensitive about things like that. Still, she did make this amazing, capable armored vehicle back when nobody had any idea what was going to happen. I'd say that's more than gets me off the hook for overlooking a few things like cushions. Quite so. The next time we build a vehicle, we'll be sure to pay more attention to creature comforts. In the meantime, we have made our way through the storm wall and are now inside the Indian Lostbelt. We should begin by assessing our surroundings. First things first, Mr. Moody, can you see this Lostbelt's tree of emptiness? Yeah, I think it's over there. I think that's it over there. I can see something far off to the southeast. Let's take a look. Ooh, that's a big tree. You guys have been working hard, haven't you? So, it's already taken root as I expected. Furthermore, its appearance have already grown considerably. But unlike in China and Scandinavia, at least we know where to find it. That should save us a good deal of time. Then let's go cut it down right now. Just like that? Are all Chinese robots so bold? No, that would be too dangerous. The tree is very far away, and I doubt the enemy has simply left it undefended. Oh yes, that reminds me. I'm aware we have yet to define this term for our current circumstances. But there is almost certainly another enemy we will need to face here. Given what we have seen thus far, there is excellent chance there is a cipher assigned to this Lostbelt and a king who has been ruling it since prior to the cipher's arrival. It is therefore in our best interest to gather as much information as we can before preparing to face them. And this one's a doozy! While this particular tree of emptiness doesn't seem to have grown considerably, it appears to be in a fairly stable state. So we do not seem to be under any immediate pressure. Of course, if this thing should take a sudden turn for the worse, we will have no choice but to act. But for the time being, it should be safe to prioritize investigating this Lostbelt. We're not many chapters in this Lostbelt. Last one was 16. Whatever steps we need to take, we should begin by getting to the bottom of this case, that is, this unknown history. Yeah, we get all the case. Detective case. I went to Sherlock Holmes. Where's Thurston Nads? Detective Nads is here. Detective Nads will go and help you crack this case. I promise you. Together, with our highly detailed minds, we will get this done. So long as we have a proper supply of cheese. Yes, quite. Very well. We will start gathering information. It's important to know exactly what sort of dangers one is up against, after all. Boy, are you in for a treat, you're off. I see. Understood. For now. Alrighty. Let's see if there's anyone else of interest around here. What's that? Hello? Oh. That's an interesting wall. Or wake. It's like a wake. It would seem there's something else visible to the naked eye here. Something in the fair distance from the tree of emptiness in its own right. Fascinating. It's very, square. Yes, indeed. What the hell is that? Is it natural? Man-made? Hurry up and scan it, man! I'm working on it! Come on! It's no use. I can't get a read on it with anything. It's like it's deflecting any attempts to scan it. I thought it might be some sort of magecraft-based structure, but if it doesn't show up on the magical energy scans, perhaps it isn't. It seems all we can do is barely make it out with our own eyes. Yeah, I said that right. Which would mean that empirically speaking, we can't even be sure it is truly there. I suppose one possible explanation is that we're all just seeing things. You mean a mass hallucination? As in a vision from space? More hospitality? A frightening girl? God, my head. Please, calm down, Director. I'm sure that was just Holmes trying to make a joke. He does that. For fun. At any rate, the only thing we can say for sure is that at this point, is that we have no idea as to what's going on. Though I do wonder if this may have anything to do with that mysterious girl we saw near Russia's tree of emptiness. In that sense, that we could also see her despite being unable to observe her with any instruments. Yeah, the other alter ego, quote-unquote, servant of the god. The foreign god, I mean. Then again, I suppose she technically appeared as some sort of blank spot on our sensors. Regardless, we still have far too little information to work with. So there is nothing to be gained from drawing conclusions now. I guess we might be able to get some readings if we gotten close. I can't say I'm thrilled about the idea of getting near that thing, but if we want to head over there and try... Don't be daft! Why would we try to go inside that thing when we don't know the first thing about it? Why, if something were to happen to the border, or me, then Kazla's hope would be dashed for good! No, our first order of business is to ensure our surroundings are safe, and then to ensure I'm safe. Isn't that right, technical and administrative advisors? You're not wrong. Lostbelts do have their own population, so we know there's got to be a town around here somewhere. I can't tell yet if there's one near that giant cube or anywhere else nearby. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Nope, we're not skipping. But wherever we find one, we shouldn't get too close to it at the border. Remember what happened in China? So if we prioritize information and supplies, I think we should start by looking for a campsite. Luckily, the environmental readings are all stable, so we can assume we're safe enough to focus on keeping a low profile. I'd really rather not use the camo feed function if we can help it, since it's a major resource hog. Now, what's a good out-of-the-way place we could hide the border around here? Aha! That Rocky Mountain over there looks promising. And away we go. Meanwhile, outside the Lostbelt... Oh wait, no, that's just us. Never mind. There's a guy that we're actually getting information from who's a very important character! At least as far as we know. Which I need to know more about. Oh, I missed some stuff. Alright, we should probably decide our plan of attack here, just to make sure. How's that device holding up? The Aronnax Phantasm, as quiet as a piece of chrome. It's not about to wake up anytime soon. I was afraid of this. Even if we get to the coordinates now, I won't be able to do the ritual to activate it as long as this Lostbelt is here. So you won't be able to use your fancy new device or update the border until we get rid of this Lostbelt? Huh. I thought that might be the case, but that doesn't make it any less sucky. I love the fact that the little cube in there is basically a giant St. Quartz crystal. Can we use your staff to summon things? Like get some free summons in here? I could really use you whenever Arjuna Altar comes out. Please? Please? Please! Anyway. What did you expect? One can hardly hope to win first prize without taking part in the race. We will need to cut off this Lostbelt sooner or later, so if anything, this only helps us simplify the matter. Indeed. Now, as usual, my duty is to defend the border, seeing as it's the last bastion of hope with mankind and all. Also, you're a giant coward, but details. Sirius and Bosch, as you two are our field team, you will be working, well, in the field. Astute observation, Kirov. Given that this will be your first Lostbelt you've investigated, you shouldn't be old hands at it by now. I'll do my best! Against the Dark God. Yes, sir. I'll be sure to stay alert while we're in the field. Like I said before, the environment here is a lot more stable than in Russia or Scandinavia. It's similar to the China climate in a lot of ways, but in addition to the physical heat and humidity, there's also high concentrations of mana in the air here. That means you won't be able to use the portable stealth device I gave you in China, just so you're aware. Still, at least we know you won't need to use the Luria's boards or any other special transport equipment here. So you won't have to worry about that. Yes, ma'am! Good, good. Just to sort out that's the sort of enthusiasm I like to see. However, one can't live on enthusiasm alone. Having just two of you out in the field is a risk I would rather not take. So, the servants who will accompany you on your investigation shall be... Sorry, I think that it's a sensible decision, but I can't accompany them. I am not here to set as a combatant. Were I to try to fight along Sirius, I would just get in his way. My job is to make improvements on this vessel. I may not yet be able to do so, but there's still a lot of foundational work I can begin now. The first thing I'm going to focus on is improving this bridge's shock absorption. As I said, these cushions leave quite a lot to be desired. Hey, I was planning to get to them when I had the time, you know. Of course, I will accompany them. I have some connections to India as well. I am sure I can be useful. Right, India has historically been close with China, where they called it Tianzhu? I'm sure you're familiar with it. Thank you, Nessa. I am very reassuring knowing you'll be there to help us. Nonetheless, Nessa alone simply won't be enough. Da Vinci needs to remain here on standby so that she can operate the board at a moment's notice if necessary. And Holmes needs to stay here so that we can make full use of the boarder's instruments while he analyzes our findings. Suffice to say, sailors, you will need to bolster your fighting force if you are to carry out the investigations. Also, you know, I can just go into my huge repertoire of servants and I can just go ahead and bring it from time and space. But we're not going to talk about that. That's apparently not canon, apparently. To do so, you'll have to try summoning new servants into the field. It's a shame that the Atlas incident wasn't more accommodating, but there's nothing we can do about that. I see Gordy is there a really good move that he has another servant staying behind who can keep him safe. I agree that you'll need to start by summoning new servants, but as they say, every cloud has a silver lining. And this particular summoning has two of them. First off, electricity. Thanks to Xiao, we have another disposable booster you can use, like you did in China. She said it's called a void cell. I gotta say, the Atlas Institute comes up with some really interesting stuff sometimes. As a reference, just hook it up to Master Shield and it'll provide all the resources you need for a summon. Unfortunately, thanks to all the time it took to make everything, it's only got enough juice for two servants. Whoopsie-doodle! I feel like that's what she would say. But hey, it's still way better than flying a kite in the storm, right? Yeah, to be able to get electricity, we had to pilot a servant, we actually had to take a kite and Theodore Roosevelt that shit and create a light and hook a kite with a key to lightning to charge a shield. It's not so funny when you think about it like that. Second, I've already found the perfect ley line for summoning, and well, it's within walking distance. I concur. Once you bolster your forces there, we can begin investigating our surroundings in earnest. Understood. We'll make sure to do that. Well, it's no time like the present. Let's go! After an hour of prep. Woo-hoo! You sure you're okay with this, Gordy? What do you mean? Oh, you know, I just figured you wanted to say, hold it, I'm director, and I give you the order around here, or something like that. Oh. Well, I will admit, I did come up with a few authoritative directives ahead of time. But I ultimately decided they weren't necessary, given how this all started. It seems fairly peaceful. And there is no point in saying them, well, why waste my breath? It's only in good sense. Oh, Gordy! You're getting some character development. You're not being much of an asshole. Or more of a lovable asshole, I guess. Of course there's a point to them. They're very important. Go on, Gordy. Hurry up and say something. Oh? Well, if you insist. And if it's not too late. Hold it, hold it. You're forgetting something pivotal. What's that? Your commander's orders, of course. We can't start an operation without them. Go on now. Line up. Back straight. Never mind the salutes, just listen up. Seerless, as the captain of the Shadow Order and the director of Chaldea, here are your orders. You are to investigate this Lostbelt spreading across the Neonet, and to find a means of felling the Tree of Emptiness as soon as possible. In addition, to eliminate this Lostbelt and protect the Earth from this invasion. You are to secure a path that will enable us to further modify and evolve the Shadow Order. On it! That's more like it. When a mission is especially difficult, that's when you need to send them off on high hopes. We're really coming into our own as a team. I think we'll even give the old Chaldea a reference. I actually see what those little glimpse was. Was that like tears or something? Lostbelt 4. Lostbelt Death A. Samaria, the Genesis and Terminus Yukakashirta, the final Dark God. I like to take a picture of each of the Lostbelts when they come in. It's just a thing I do. Hey, Zinquarts! I need 2 more of you and I have enough to do almost 30 summons. Or 10 summons. 10 rolls, as you will. But when that's going to happen, God knows. Give us a date for the freaking summoning already. Jeez. Jeez! Anyway. Hold on, let me take a quick water break. Ooh, the music here is getting good. Okay, actually, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and get some more water. Bear with me for just a moment. We'll be right back. Then we can start the shenanigans. Okay, yeah, not gonna lie, I kind of like this theme. It's really cool. There's apparently like a boss theme that's gonna be coming up relatively soon. That's essentially gonna be like, oh, what do you call it? That's essentially going to, excuse me. That essentially is going to have like a mix of the first 4 Lostbelt themes. And that's a boss fight I cannot wait for. Anyway. Hold on a second. I'll check something real quick. Okay. Now that I think about it, I'm hoping that I didn't, crap. Oh, I forgot to hit record. God fucking damn it. One of these days I'll remember to do that. I thought that I might have been mute this entire time. I mean, I'm looking at, like, the thing bar go up and down, so I think I'm fine, but you always have that worry, considering how much I was, like, reading off stuff. So, yeah, that's a thing. That would be so scuffed. I did all that reading for nothing. Anyway. Alright. Let's go in, I guess. Ooh. Ha. We're starting off strong with some Berserker servants going on. What is this? Berserker... Oh. Whoopsie, hold on a second. Meeting Hope in a Lonely World is the second chapter. This question will have to you form your party immediately before beginning battle. I mean, isn't that how it always goes? Oh, so we have to do all that. Oh, so we have to do the story, then we get to choose. Got it. Okay. It's one of those. Here we go. I have to ask, are you sure this will work? You had a fairly rough go at it in China, didn't you? Granted, I was so out of sorts earlier on there, thanks to having to confront my mortality, that it didn't make sense. Oh, hold on. Granted, I was so out of sorts early on there, thanks to having to have... I can talk. thanks to having to confront my mortality that I wasn't able to make the same sort of cool-headed decisions I normally do. I can speak! Huh. Anyway. I actually don't quite remember what happened very well. Still, I do recall hearing something about being able to summon servants there. You don't have to tell us. We're all fully aware. He was poisoned along with me during that Lostbelt. That was a bitch. But I think we'll be okay. China was a unique situation even for a Lostbelt. Still, for what it's worth, I don't think Sirius will have any trouble summoning capabilities servants here. Oh, I butchered that. Same! Well, like, all we have to do now is give it a shot. Is everything ready, Mosh? I can hit buttons. Yes, everything is placed for summoning spell, and the connections to the spirit origin briefcase is stable. Running the final checks, done. Heroic spirit summoning system fate. All systems green. I wonder what service we're going to get. Go ahead whenever you're ready, Master. I wonder if we get to buy. Oh God, yes, we get to do this. We gotta do this. We gotta do the summoning chant. My will creates your body, and your sword creates my destiny. If you heed the Grail's call and abide by this will and reason, then answer me. I hereby swear. I embody all that is good in the world. I shall defeat all that is evil in the world. Seventh heaven clad in the three worlds of power, come forth from the circle of body, guardian of the scales! I'm so glad that's the official summoning sequence of this. Rama! Holy crap, Rama! What the heck? I wasn't expecting you in this Lostbelt. I had some ideas of what's going to happen. I haven't looked too much into the story. But, like, I didn't know Rama was here. Oh, that's awesome. I get to use Rama a little bit. I am Rama, a saber, and the great king of Kosala. Karna, too! Yay, Karna! Well, I mean, considering who we're fighting, it's not too surprising. I am a Lancer. My true name is Karna. It is good to be here. This is not the first time we've actually seen Karna in the main story. We saw him actually in the, what was it? Distortion Chapter 4? In the American Singularity? That was a weird one. Yeah, it worked, Senpai. We couldn't have hoped for the better result. We even know them already. Well, they don't know us because, technically speaking, the way the summoning works in this is that we essentially are summoning them possibly in different circumstances. So, in this game, the Rama or the Karna that we focused and saw in one Singularity is going to be completely different than the one that we know from another time frame. So essentially we're like pulling them out from a different time. So the events of whatever they were before, we're not going to remember them. Like, perfect example, I think Mordred of the Round Table was actually, we summoned them 3 times. Or we've seen them 3 times. But they don't remember us at all. I think they have, like, slight remembrance, and even slight remembrance from, like, past series that they've been in. Rama's only been in Truth of the Fate Grand Order, but Karna, however, is a servant or the Lancer of Red from Fate Apocrypha. And probably one of the strongest Lancer servants out there. I love Karna. Karna's just a cool character. Whoa, good. I knew I had it in me. What did you do? You didn't do anything. Why, these servants I summoned are perfect for tackling India. With a lineup like this, I dare say we've already as good as won. But you didn't do anything. Shut up. Well, technically it was Sirius that summoned them. This is such good news, it almost makes me want to run around and whooping for joy. I would, of course. No, you need to whoop for joy. Whoop like your life depended on it. I need to see this cuteness, Mosh. Please, whoop. Whoop until your heart's content. You better whoop at the end of this. But at least Fowl can hop around gleefully in my stead. Go ahead, Fowl. Fowl! Fowl! Like Fowl! Fowl! Oh, but I want to say Mosh whoop. But the whoop. I see. Now I understand. So we're fighting for Chaldea on behalf of proper human history. Indeed. It sounds as though your path, thus far, has been quite egregious, Master Seamus. But now that you've summoned me, the King of Kosala, and Avatar of Vishnu, your worries are over. Like, legitimately, even Karna alone, Rama's power level I'm not familiar with, but Karna alone is he's a wrecking crew. Like, quite literally, the way it was set, Karna, most of the servants against Karna couldn't do anything to him because of his golden armor that he's wearing. Granted, he's not in his armor right now. He's kind of in his armorless form, which I imagine that he'll don when he's in battle. But like, he doesn't take damage. Or he barely takes any damage. It's insane. Like, Karna is a demigod. That's probably like one of the strongest lancers, considering what his noble phantasm or limit break is, which harnesses the power of the sun. But hopefully we'll see that soon. No matter what matter our hardships. Oh, damn it. No matter what hardships may lie ahead, my sword, a bane of all evil, will rend any obstacle you encounter asunder. And on the slight chance I am not by myself, you even managed to summon Karna, the hero of benefaction. This goes far beyond just good luck. How many good deeds have you earned? Good deeds have you done to earn this kind of karma, Master? You give me far too much credit than I deserve. Still, I can promise you this, Master. Now that I've been summoned here, I will do everything in my power to see your will is done. I await your orders. Like, I'm so happy Karna's here. Like, Karna is on my list of servants. Like, okay. Thinking about it now, considering the fact that we're going to be doing roles and stuff soon, Karna's actually on this banner. So, I'm halfway tempted to maybe throw a few tickets or quotes on this banner. Because I have rolled for Karna at one point in time, but never was able to get him. I actually did it in March. Actually, I did it after I did, I think it was Gotcha Hell episode 2 or 3, where I rolled for James Moriarty and Nikola Tesla. That same event, Karna came out. I don't think I've ever posted that, because I never actually did like a physical recording of it. So, I'm tempted to kind of do another reroll of it. I don't know, we'll have to see. Next week, we'll see. Whenever we do rolls, honestly, it's really going to depend on the rolls for Arjuna Altar. Because Arjuna Altar is, like, main priority number 1. So, if we could get Arjuna Altar in a decent amount of time, I may be tempted to do a roll or two for Karna, and then save the rest for next banner, which is going to be for summer, which Emandantes. And we're going to go all crazy on the Emandantes. Anyway, but yeah, Karna is one of my favorite characters from Apocrypha. He was really cool. Plus his final fight's really good. That said, as a Kshatriya, I could ask for no greater honor than to fight alongside the king of Kosala. Truthfully, even I can deny that I feel fortune smile upon us. Now, very respectable of you, son of Syria, god of the sun. I feel most reassured knowing that you have my back. I'm sorry, but like, you guys have to understand, like, this is a dream team. Also, because this is going to show how royally fucked we are. Because even though we have 2 very strong servants, one of which, at the very least, has a rank of divinity, which gives their power, which makes them a little bit more powerful than the average servant, Arjuna Altar is going to be in a class of their own, and you'll see why! You're really happy about this, huh, Mosh? She's like in awe. Oh, yes. Although, I'm also just relieved. Since I already know very well just how heroic and dependable they are. I'm so grateful they were the ones who chose to answer your call. Me too. I'll say, even without the home advantage going for them, I'd say these are some of the best possible servers you could have hoped to summon. I agree. Rama, Karna, Arjuna, and Pravati were my top choices from the spirit origin graph going on. Yeah, Arjuna, which is the half-brother, step-brother? Brother of sorts of Karna, and Pravati, who is a goddess, a pseudo-servant, like Mosh is, but houses the goddess of, well, the goddess Pravati. Uh-oh. That cut out there on my end a little bit. Whoopsie-doodle. But it was still a roll of the dice as to whether any of them would respond to the summon. And if that weren't good enough, Rama and Karna are both enormously well-known and influential here. Yeah, because we're in India. That's an interesting thing. I kind of wish they got the home field advantage buff that they do in Holy Grail Wars. Fun fact, in a Holy Grail War, typically the Holy Grail War was done in Fuyuki, Japan, but it has been done in other areas as well if the Holy Grail War manifests in a certain place. The funny thing is, if a servant is summoned in the country or the country or the area in which their legend is most well known, essentially the legend that where they lived, they get a massive spike in power. A perfect example was, kind of using Fate Apocrypha as an example, is that Karna having his golden armor basically makes him essentially take 80% less damage. However, he took quite a bit of damage against Vladimir III, who's the Lancer of Black from the opposing faction, because the servant was summoned because he was summoned in Romania, which is where the Holy Grail War was taking place. So he got a massive boost to his power that he normally would have. So he could take on Karna with relative ease, and Karna couldn't do shit about it. It was nuts. There were spears, and they were inside his body. Not in a good way. Anyway, given all of that, along with the fact that they are known in India like the backs of their hands, I'm sure they'll even be more useful than usual. More helpful than usual. That said, I'm sure these things might be off for them here, given that this is a Lostbelt and all, but I'm sure they'll still handle it way better than us Europeans. Speaking of which, what do you make of this Lostbelt so far? How is this different from the India you're familiar with? How different is it? How is it not different? I recognize nothing of this topography. No, it's more than that. I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but it feels like the air here is, yes, it's very dry. It makes me feel lonely. Yes, that's it. It makes me feel lonely. I have no idea what that might mean, though. Oh, dear. Lonely, huh? Oh? And of course, I always make a point to try and sense my wife whenever I materialize, and it seems she's nowhere to be found. One more reason I feel lonely, I think. Yeah, so Rama is a very interesting case. So, Rama, wife, her name escapes me right now. There was a curse placed on them in life. She's actually an archer. There was a curse placed on them in life to where the two of them will never be able to see each other, which actually carried over into them being summoned as servants. Both of them, having lore of their own and notoriety, were strong enough to be able to get summoned as servants, or be locked into the Throne of Heroes, which is where all the spirits of heroes go whenever they die, and that's how they're able to summon. Basically, this is not the first time we've seen Rama in a story patch. The last time we saw them, his wife was actually there too. However, Fate kind of made it to where they're in their lore because of the curse. The curse is still active even as servants, so they're never able to physically see each other. So basically, if to kind of give an answer, Rama got hurt like real bad, and his wife was coming to go and see him. And we ran into his wife, and before he saw his wife, he passed out. And still like little things like that. So, unfortunately, they're not able to see each other, but apparently she's not in his Lostbelt, so we won't have to worry about that shenanigan. It's really sad. Ah, my beloved Sita. Sita, that was her name. Thank you. I couldn't remember. Yes, Rama and Sita. Sita is an archer class servant if she was summonable. Right now she isn't, though, which is unfortunate. I hope she will be one day. And that we can somehow break that curse. Probably not, because that's ingrained into their spirit origin. Or their soul. When will I get to see you again? Should we, like, take a picture and, like, show? I feel like we could do that if that would break the curse. I don't sense anything familiar here either. Well, I suppose there is. Is something wrong? No, it's nothing. For a moment, I felt a bit of the kind of tension I feel prior to battle. Uh-oh! Is that the moment that Arjuna sensed that you're here? Oh! Oh, that's why you're here. Whoopsie doodle! Well, we're more royally fucked than I thought we were. I was trying to figure out what that might be, but I couldn't come up with anything. I might have been imagining things, or perhaps my mind's playing tricks on me. No! Your mind is not playing tricks on you. You're fucked. We're fucked. If Arjuna knows that you're here now, we're in trouble. I'm sorry I can't be clearer than that, Master. Very well then. What do you make of that mysterious cube off in the distance? To be honest, I have no idea. I've traveled to all manners of countries in my search for Sita, but I've never seen nor heard of anything like that. Nor have I. There is something about its shape that seems vaguely familiar. But I am sure that is not the kind of answer you are looking for. Not really, no. I could say it looks like a giant dice or an enormous 3D puzzle, but that wouldn't do us any good. We want to know what it's made of, not what it looks like. If you proper human history servants don't know, then it's obviously something unique to this Lostbelt. In which case, the only way we'll find answers is by investigating it. You can start with our immediate surroundings, as I originally planned. Remember, the fate of the world hinges on us, so make sure you do your damn jobs. Hey, Master, I know he's your superior, but does he have to be so condescending? Does he not know I am a king? He's a good guy at heart, I promise. He's an asshole. What a lovable asshole. Well, no matter. Given that I am a servant now, I can certainly overlook a transgression or two. He is definitely condescending, but also totally harmless. I recommend not dwelling on it. Oh, alright, why don't we get our investigation underway? Time for the mystery to be solved. Sorry. From now on, Master Sirius is no longer here. It is Master Thurston Nans. From the beginning, until this investigation is done, this is how we'll talk. No, it's not going to be how I talk, I promise. We'll begin with the immediate vicinity. So just head in the direction we'll tell you, and we should be all set. You might run into a wild animal or two along the way, but I'm sure you guys will be able to handle them just fine. Okay. Ooh. I love this song. Alright, so who can we bring along with us? Oh. We can't use anybody right now. Fuck. Well, we have Karna here. You know what? This would actually be a good time to test out Karna since I have a decently leveled Merlin. We can use him for a lot of the fights and just have him wreck everything. Well, Mosh, you're on first. Let's put in a Divine Banquet on you since I have this maxed out. What's this? Interesting craft essence. Huh. Begin battle with NP charge at 50% and increase NP gain by 50%. Oh! That's kind of cool. Is that just something you come with? Because, okay. No, okay. I wonder, is that like a special ability that you get because you're here? Because you're in India? I mean, technically speaking, she doesn't have, they don't have anything to do with, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna think about it too much. Let's go. Finally, some combat rather than story writing, or reading, or whatever. I wonder what horrible things we're gonna see soon.
我が道を阻むかならお前は私の敵だ行くぞ
What the heck? We got a debuff. Mysterious debuff. Decrease quick and arch card and buster card effectiveness and decrease the amount of HP recovered and decrease. Why do I have this? Why do I have this debuff? Arjuna, do you have something to do with this? Please tell me you probably have something to do with this, don't you? Anyway, charisma. Increase critical return generate. No, and then you have a guts. Okay, now. I don't think that's what we're going to be doing. Karna, however. Alright, let's start off by gathering some stars here first. Let's check out the presenter. Here we go! Nice! Okay. Fortunately, I don't have enough to MP the limit break right now to take them all out, but I don't think we need to. Let's do this, and this. Hey, stop doing that. You know what? Let's increase the speed. Oh, we can just do that in the next thing. Yeah, let's level that. The hope is that we'll just be able to take them out in one fell swoop. Okay, and I think I think Karna does get his animation update now, so I'm curious to see how this is gonna look, but we'll see what happens. Let's go! Oh boy, here we go. Woo! Wasabi Shati! Ooh! As the god of the sun, Lance has the ability to go and strike with an attack that is as powerful as the sun itself. It's freaking badass. But what did it get more experience? So we're gonna have to be dealing with a deep. So the funny thing is that didn't do nearly as much damage as it should. I think we're gonna have a constant debuff on us because of our Judah shenanigans. At least that's my thought. But neat, that's awesome. Okay. Okay, so we only have rider service to deal with. That's fine. Alright, let's go again. More story. We did it. We did end up running into some wild animals, but you all handled them no problem. That said... Huh? There's obviously something on your mind. You look pretty puzzled. Yeah, is it because of that debuff? Indeed. Now that we had a quick warm-up, I can say for sure there's something strange about this land. I agree, completely, but I can't figure out what it might be. Yes, compared to the one we know from proper human history, was it? It feels as though there's something unusually covering the entire world. It is like the loneliness you mentioned before? Maybe, maybe not. It's nothing I can put my finger on, nor can I put into words. All I know for sure is that whatever it is preventing us from performing at our best. Arjuna! It doesn't mean we can't fight, but we definitely can use 100% of our power. Do you think it'll get better? Honestly, I don't know. Things might improve once we get used to it, but at this point, I just can't say. So this is the regulation that we got for this, is basically dealing with this, like, debuff. I'm curious how much of a damage reduction that we're getting here, or healing reduction. Nonetheless, I wouldn't pay it too much heed. Even if we can't use all of our power, we still have more than enough to carry out your commands. So don't worry about us, Master. All you need to worry about is telling us what to do. Hey, more beasts! Now then, it looks like we have more hungry beasts to deal with. Let's take care of them quickly so that we can continue our investigating our surroundings. And away we go! This is good. I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh! Yep, then the pressure's still here. Or wherever you want to call this, I don't know. I'm calling it pressure. At the very least, I'm more glad about the fact that I don't have to deal with like my command codes being fucked up here. Because the biggest problem I had, these guys right here, that little master skills, that was on cooldown. One of the biggest ones is this one here, order change, which allows me to switch out characters. Not being able to do that was annoying as fuck. Not like groundbreaking, but annoying as fuck. Alright, let's up the speed on this one. Let's do some Rama here. Also, we're taking out the bees because I want nothing to do with those drops. Ooh, you got quite a bit from that. Alright, let's give everybody let us do like that. Oh no, I should have probably said that. Well, that's fine. Okay, so we'll be able to use his own soon. Oh, nice! Back to back. Alright, let's do this. Actually, let's start with Karna's and then we'll work our way over using the other one. I don't think we need to use the MB1. Here we go! Time for some Vasavi Shakti! That sounds like a brand of tea! Vasavi? I love this so much! While the explanation for that is good, it does no justice to how it looked in Apocrypha. Like, him using Vasavi Shakti was insanity. It was amazing. I love that. So good. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we'll take out the bees. Bees gotta die. And then, okay, that's HP still. Let's do this. I don't think I've seen this little bit. Oh no, apparently I have. Destructo! Yes! Alright. Great Windmaker. Okay, so they got a crit up. Still shouldn't be too much big of a problem. Let's get some... Let's see if we can kill this thing. Just get out of our hair. Close enough. Uh-oh. Nope. Charisma's back up. Let's do... Yeah, let's do that one. Go destructed this! Aww. At least they're not doing nearly as much damage as they could be doing. Which I do appreciate. Thank you. Don't let me die. Alright, Buster Chains. And then, next! Aw, so close! Could have Bossa V shot to your butts into oblivion. Well? Let's do that. There we go. That should be enough to end me. Alright, so I'm going to freeze you. And you're stunned. I'm gonna boost you up. Then give you some buffs. Ooh, that actually works perfectly there. And here we go. This should kill everybody. At least I hope. And then we'll clean up everybody who have. Uh-oh. It cut out on me. Hold, please. Whoopsie doodle. It couldn't handle the Bossa V Shakti. It was too strong. There we go. AKA, we killed them all. Hooray! 3-0 Phantasms in a 10 turns. That's not bad. Also, I apologize. I don't know why they keeps cutting out. Just decides he doesn't want to connect anymore, I guess. But thinking about getting like a new phone and just like transferring my data like to play this game on another phone. But I like to have this on me, so I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. So hey, what makes you think? What do you think? What are you making the area so far? We've been able to get a handle on it to some degree on our end, but I still like to hear your thoughts on it now that you experienced it for yourself. Well, I can say there's a lot of bodies of water around here. Uh-oh. It cut out again? I don't know what's wrong with that. I'm so sorry, guys. Hold, please. Why does it keep disconnecting like that, I wonder? Is it something I'm doing wrong? Hold on a second. Let me... Okay. Seem to be back right now. I don't know why it keeps cutting out. It's not like I'm moving it or anything, but let me... I positioned it in a different spot, so I'm hoping that this helps. They're all covered in lotus flowers, and it's very pretty. And there's also plenty of dry land, so we haven't had any problems walking around. Basically, it's surprisingly durable. Well, of course, water is essential for living things to survive. It looks like there are larger rivers here, too. So it would seem it's just as environmentally stable as China was. Especially like the cold that we saw in both Scandinavia and Russia. Oh, this signal. Is that? Just as I suspected. A world with a pleasant climate is bound to have people, which also means it's bound to have towns. I just picked up what appears to be one such town in the direction you're headed. I'll send you the coordinates now. Be sure to approach it with the utmost caution. Unless we deal with the bullshittery that is the god Arjuna. Oh. I'm spilling stuff all over the place. Whoopsie. Hold, please. Tranquil Hill was the next area. I'll give you one quick second. Okay, sorry about that. This one, I also just got some order too. We're only on 2 hours for this. I know we haven't gotten far, but this is good. Though there is something that I do want to check. I just realized the AP cost for this actually is a lot less than I thought it was. I know it was because I didn't think the AP because during certain events, I'm just checking something real quick. During certain events, the AP cost does end up getting half, so that way it's easier on you to complete the story with. But that makes me wonder. So if that's the case, I'm just checking something. Main quest 1, chapters 1 through 3, and then after part 2, free quest AP costs to part 2 chapter. Oh, okay, that's where we're at right now. Interesting. So, so we get half. So we're getting half AP cost for this as well, I guess. Unless the AP cost for this Lostbelt just isn't all that much, which I'm totally fine with. Just please save me all my AP. No, that AP is definitely at regular cost. So never mind. I take everything back I said. But we're dealing with the Berserker, and I'm kind of scared. I feel like during this entire game, it's just, if I see that Berserker symbol all the way there in that corner, I'm like, is this the time? Is it time for us to die? Because I know what's coming. Let's see how bad. Okay, we can start using our own servants again. Nice. Then what I'm going to do, we're going to have Karna. We're going to be using my Buster team. So Carter's going to have a field day. Well, pseudo Buster team. And my pseudo Buster team is just a bunch of the only parts of the Buster team is Merlin and then Waver over here. If you're wondering why our Achilles is here too, he's basically just hanging out just to get experience points so I can get his Ascension card at level 10. Hey Katana, welcome on in. How are ya? Hopefully you're having a good day. I don't know how long you've been here, but we're just playing some Fate Grand Order and doing the new story. So we haven't gotten too far. We've only just done like the prologue chapter and then the first couple quests, so we're just getting into some things now. Let me change the line up real quick. We'll save you for the last. Yeah, Katana, hopefully you're doing good. You haven't missed much. Just a bunch of story. And me losing my voice as I'm talking as well. But it's all good fun. But hopefully have a good stay. Alright, let's go! Car's gonna be busted. It's gonna be great. Ooh. Close your eyes. Clasp your hands. Offer your prayers to the God above. Those 3 things are an important part of our daily lives. We all have to do them. My father's complaints about everything, but he still prays every day, even if he always grumbles while he does it. If I forget to pray, At the right time, he gets really angry. Well, he's always angry, but he gets even more angry. Are you the Incredible Hulk? Is your dad's Incredible Hulk? Should I be concerned? Maybe we could go and just throw the Incredible Hulk at God Arjuna. Hulk can take on the God, right? Right? Oh, you're doing the Nobu event? Are you playing on JP? I did remember seeing some people doing some guides on the new free server that's coming from the Nobu event, or Gura Gura. At least the one that's coming out for this year for NA. If so, that's really cool. Hopefully your gathering of materials and stuff is going good. KR? Not familiar with that abbreviation. Unless I was like a mistype or something like that. But if I'm not aware of abbreviations, I'm sorry. I am. Oh, Korean. Okay, got it. Out of curiosity, does Korean follow the same schedule as JP does? As far as I know, I only know the schedule that JP has and then the schedule that NA has. So if there's any other schedules, I'm not aware of them. That'd be interesting if there was. I kind of see where the rest of the world is at when some of this stuff actually releases. Let's see. I think if I had a mother, she'd get angry too. I've only heard about mothers in stories, so I don't know that for sure. But that's what I guess. Prayers are very important, so I can't blame them for getting angry. That's true for routine prayers, and prayers just for the sake of praying. Praying is an essential part of our lives. I mean, considering who the Mad God is, that makes sense. The Noble event came out before NA? Huh. Interesting. I'm sorry, I'm not... I remember... When was the Noble event for us? I thought that was like... That was a while ago, wasn't it? That's interesting then. Is it safe, would it be safe to assume that the Korean server is a little bit behind us in NA? You have to forgive me. It's been quite some time since I did the Noble event. I don't think I actually was actively playing during the Noble event, so I'm not 100% sure. We pray, and we pray, and we hope that our gods hear us. We live our lives the best we can. We try hard to be good people. Oh, that Noble event! Got it! Okay, so the one that's coming soon. I'm sorry you weren't able to get Noble Avenger. Hopefully your luck as far as your rolls will be a little bit better with whatever you decide to do next. Is there any services you're looking for this coming year? Outside of Avenger Noble? Out of curiosity, are you actually hyped for well, if you're at the event, then that means Arjuna Altar is already... Wait, does that mean Arjuna Altar would have already came and gone now at this point? I think so. Maybe. But regardless, hopefully somebody else that you want is coming up soon. We live our lives the best we can. We try hard to be good people. So please, oh great God above, oh great dark God above, please guide us to the next yuga. What's a yuga? Ah, Space Ishtar. Okay. Yeah, that's another big one for a lot of people. Not gonna lie, like Space Ishtar seems like a cool concept. All things considered, like an Ishtar Avenger. Though I'm not for me personally, I don't know if I'm going to be rolling on her or not. I know a lot of people are going to because she's essentially going to be like the Edmond Dantes of the Castoria system whenever she comes out next year. But I don't think I'm going to be using her. I already have Scotty and Edmond, and hopefully going to get Edmond at a decent level, so I'm kind of like, do I need this? So I don't know. I might go and throw a couple quartz and tickets her way, all depending. But my focus is just going to be leveling up what I got. What's all the commotion outside? I'm gonna go take a look. Where do you think you're going? It's okay. I've already finished my prayers. Come on, Vihan. Oh, a puppy, Vihan. Yeah, the variety MP that she can do is really useful. It looks really cool. Like, all her skills are busted. Plus, I love her third ascension. I absolutely adore her third ascension. It looks really cool. But yeah, the fact that she can basically be used with any servant, kind of like a jack-of-all-trades type of servant, is really good. So yeah, I don't blame anybody who wants to go and get her. Like, just with my Chaldea, I don't know. Right, and she has the other costume. Yeah, the other costume is a lot better. It's like it's a variation of her third ascension, if memory serves me correctly. It's really cool looking for what I remember of it. It's been a while. And yeah, I think I'll definitely go and throw some quartz her way. Who knows? Maybe I'll get her. It'd be kind of cool. I just have the way I kind of justified it. Oh, did you have her on your JP account? Oh no, if you're saying you missed your JP account, I'm sorry if something bad happened to it. That's always rough. If it makes you feel any better, I kind of understand what that means. If you lost your account, I kind of understand what that means. This is actually my second account. I lost my first account by accidentally deleting my FGO account on my phone. And technically, I've been playing that since the game first came out, way back when. Thankfully, I didn't get very far. Let me see what I missed here. Once we've confirmed the town was safe to approach, we decided to take a closer look, as there was only so much we could learn from at a distance. You got her in true summoning tickets? That's amazing! That's awesome! That's some EX luck there! Man, that is the dream. Like, can I have some of that luck, please? I'm gonna be rolling for Arjuna Ultra when he comes out, so I'd love to get him in 2 tickets. That'd be amazing. That said, this isn't what I was expecting. Yeah, I think like the first big servant that I was trying to get when I made my second account was Tamama no Mai, and she literally took all the tickets. She took about, God, like 300 quartz, like 300 some odd quartz, maybe even 400 some odd quartz, and then like 50 tickets, and then like on my last 3, I finally got her. It was insane. That was an insane rolling section. I wish I recorded that. It feels vaguely unsafe here. Well, here's my question then, Katana. Do you have any other servants that you like? What's your favorite servant? Tamama no Mai is definitely mine, if I had to choose. No questions asked in that case. I'd have to agree. There are a number of broken buildings, and the foundation is jutting out from an odd angle. It would be a beautiful town square if it was properly maintained, but as it is now, it feels kind of run down. What about the townspeople? Are there any there? Yes, there are, though it feels like they're giving us a wide berth. Like weird stairs or something like that? Also, I love this music. Like this variation of the main theme. I still think that Lostbelt 1 has the best, like, overworld theme. Like that piano theme and just the haunting vibe that it gets. Even like the remix, the variation version of it was like so good. Like I still hold that very, very close to my heart. Arash! Yeah, best red face is definitely high on my list. I don't have her personally. But I wouldn't mind getting her. She was absolutely adorable in the Babylonia, especially in the anime. The 7 Trials of Hell, too. Oh yeah, Arash is definitely adorable. I'm hoping, like, I might throw a couple of quartz because I think she's on Raid Up again later on this year. But the GSSR that's coming out this year that I'm going to be rolling for is going to have her on it too. So if I get her, that would be a plus. But we'll see. I don't see any furried ear beasts like we did in Russia, and it doesn't look like the age are skewed like in Scandinavia. At a glance, they look like perfectly ordinary people. They do seem to be wary of us, but I don't sense any overt hostility. I imagine they would react similarly to any unfamiliar visitors. It would seem they're sizing us up as if we're sizing them up. In that case, it is best if we don't give them any unnecessary cause for suspicion. We'll refrain from calling you for. We'll refrain you from. Oh, hold on. We'll refrain from calling you for the time being. So please use that time to focus on gathering as much information as you can. Understood. All right, here it goes. Oh, you have Castoria and JP too? Oh, that's rough. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I've been super hyped for Castoria ever since she came out, since I primarily like using art servants or the art style of play. So I hope and pray that I'm able to go and get Castoria for myself if she's so so kind to grace her Caldea. Though I will say this, I had a friend of mine who's super excited, who loves Saber to pieces, especially Saber and Lily, because she kind of relates to her story for her own personal life. But she was so excited when Castoria came out. So I'm hoping that, so I understand how much love that she gets. She's a really cool concept. And Jean of Arc too. Are we talking about just like Ruler Jean or any of the other versions, like Avenger Jean and them? Even still, having at least Castoria on the account, even Space Ishtar, that would have, you can do a lot on that. That sucks. And I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully, if you do have another JP account, that you're able to at least get some of those servants back, if not being able to build it up a little bit better. It's never fun. Who is this last? Meanwhile, who is this sassy lost child? And her puppy. There's a girl looking at us very intently. Let's go with the most important one. That doggo's adorable. Ah, you had to start fresh. Yeah, that's rough. Have you been able to at least get a decent amount of servants since you restarted the game again? She doesn't seem to be afraid of us either. I think I'll try talking to her. Hi there. Could we talk with you for a bit? Thanks! You surprised me. Hello! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Oh, don't worry. I'm always spacing guests, so I get surprised a lot. If you just want to talk, that's fine with me. Just some 4 stars, so no 5 stars then? Darn, that sucks. Well, what do you have if you don't mind me asking? Sometimes we get some 4 stars that are just as good. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So we get some 4 stars that are just as good as 5 stars, if not better. So, it's cool, because at least with gacha games, if the gacha gods are nice enough as well, you get like little pieces to a puzzle, so it's always cool to see what other people have. Whether it be like their favorite servants or whatever 3 stars and 4 stars are able to get, even 5 stars. Unfortunately, not everybody has EX luck like some other people do, so it's kind of skewed a little bit, but still. Ah, you have some summer servant. That's still good. The summer servants are really strong. Plus, most of them are freaking adorable. Albeit all of them are freaking adorable in some way, shape, or form. So, I can definitely respect that. I will say though, my use of the servants have been a little bit skewed. I kind of wish I had more opportunity to use some of the lesser star servants. The minute I got Tamama with another servant, I kind of stuck with that for a majority of the game. So, again, my preference as far as using the lower star rarity servants are a little bit skewed. Say, can I ask who you guys are? I've never seen anyone else dressed like that, like you before. Can we get close to blend in? We're travelers. That's right. This is Seerless, and I'm Masked Curiolite. May I ask your name? I'm Asha, and this is Fihad. He's astonishingly cute, isn't he? Yes, he is. Look at that puppy. Look at that doggo. Somebody pet the doggo, please. I want to pet the doggo. Let me pet the doggo. Mama! So, you are named after the Hindu word for hope and dawn. That's lovely. Oh yes, I almost forgot. I am Rama, and this is Karna and Nezaha. You may have heard of our names and stories of great warriors, but pay that no heed. Uh-oh, there's Dad. Uh-oh! I think you said bad words. I think you said bad words. Was it because you said Karna? Gee, I wonder if it has to say, in fact, it has to do with anything with the fact that you said the name Karna. Welp, is it my imagination, or do the other people here seem afraid of something now? So if you're travelers, does that mean you don't have a home? No, we don't. At least not in this town. Oh, you got Melt from a summoning ticket. Nice! I know Melt is really good. Though her character is kind of interesting in Fate CCC. I honestly, since I love Fate Extra, I really hope I can play that game soon so I can know more about the other alter egos of BB. But hopefully she does you good. She does you well. From like I said, from what I heard or what I know about her skills and such, she's pretty decent. Plus, her character is actually pretty. Like I said, her character is pretty interesting as she tap dances on your head till you die. You don't? That's terrible. Shockingly terrible. Why is that terrible? Because of the Kali, of course. You can't pray without a house, and if you can't pray, the Kali are going to eat you up. Kali? Asha, is that? Oh, hey, Dad. Huh, fuck. What are you doing here, Asha? Can't you see what's happening? The Kali are here! Everyone inside! Okay, I'm locking the doors. Get ready to pray, everyone. Oh, you got Kiara too! Nice! Yeah, I actually rolled for Kiara. Actually, I rolled quite a bit on Kiara because I wanted MP2. I only got MP1 of her. So, yeah, Kiara's really good, especially with all the buffs. Hopefully you'll be, since it seems like you're a little bit ahead of us, you'll be able to get her buff sooner. So I hope she serves you well. She's stupid strong from what I remember. Man, gotta love that luck that you just get in, like, I want to roll randomly and just see what happens, and then sure enough. King Protea. Oh, King Protea! Yes! She's good too. I didn't roll on her because she wasn't on my list of servants, but I know a lot of people who are a fan of King Protea. Has I used King Protea before? I think I've used her once. And if I did, she was pretty fun to use. Those are some pretty good servants you got going on in your Korean account. Got to say, I'm a little bit jealous. Get inside. Hurry. The Kali are here? But these travelers don't have a home. Father, can we let them stay in ours? Of course not. I can't afford to look after a bunch of people we don't even know. That just picks up and just walks off. Wait, please. You're Ash's father, right? Can you at least tell us what's going on? My name is Achi. Use it. And I've got my hands full taking care of just one Ulu? Ulu? Sorry, but you lot are on your own. On our own with what? What? Were you born yesterday or something? With the Kali, of course. All we can do is lock ourselves in our homes and pray to our God not to discard us. So that we don't become faithless, worthless people doomed to end up as nothing more than Kali food. Go on, traveler! We gotta hurry and find a place to hide and pray. I'm sure you already know this, but the Kali... Be quiet, Asha. We can't afford to pray for them as well as us. You have Sinadai too? I heard Sinadai was a really good art servant from a few people who have her, so that's good. Man, you seem to have pretty good luck with getting alter egos. Like I said, not gonna lie, that's pretty good. And actually, you have just about one for each card type. So yeah, if you're against Cavalry servants, you're pretty golden. That's actually pretty good. Again, I'm jealous. It's always good to have some type of variety. And Jolter as well. Nice. I do have Jolter. Jolter's pretty fun to use. Hilariously enough, I actually had Jolter. Jolter was the, I actually got Jolter from a random ticket, if memory serves me correctly, from my first account. So she was actually my first 5-star? And this was literally when she first came out, too. So, that was something. But, again, I ended up losing her, unfortunately, so, nah. Master, all of the other people are gone. It looks like we're the only ones left still outside. They must have all gone back to their homes. Now, what are we going to do? I know Asha told us to hide, but... Get back, Master. Oh! Hello, crocodile thing. Is that a collie? Be careful. That is not the only one. Oh, we have more friends! Hooray! We get to throw hands. They're attacking everything in sight. Is that why this town is in such a poor shape? Callie, that is the devil's name. And Ku? Or Ku-Alter? Nice! I kind of wish I had Ku-Alter to have him kind of as like an anchor servant in case shit goes real or shit goes bad. But I have Hercules, which I'm actually leveling up now, so if I don't get him, I don't get him. That's pretty cool. That must be one unique to Indian mythology, rather than the one defined by the Holy Church. I don't know how you Westerners categorize them, but we have always called them devils. I do get the sense that these aren't the same devils we know, but whether they are, they're clearly bent on causing destruction. No king can sit idly by and watch such destruction. These creatures will make worthy foes for my indestructible blade. My body still feels odd, but the effects are negligible. We should have no serious issues. Agreed. I'm not about to let that stop me from helping. Give us orders, Master. Give us your orders, Master. We'll handle these things. Got it. Let's fight. Your first 5-star with Saber Shiki? That's awesome! Man, I kind of wish I rolled on Saber Shiki when I had the chance to. I like Shiki as a character, especially learning more from Kyoku no Kyokai. I really need to see that series because she seems like that series seems really good. I only have her in her assassin form, which she's only at MP4 because I didn't have enough time to fix the event. But still, that's awesome. Yeah. But if Saber Shiki was your first 5-star, that's a pretty good one to have. Right. My Ordinax is holding steady at better than expected readings. I'm good to go too. Armor Shielder, moving out. Which is unfortunate because I'm only using Karna. Ah, okay, that's when you first joined your career one. Got it. That's still good. Like I said before, that's a good servant to have. Oh boy, here we go. Alright, first Nova Phantasm. Let's put some more power into it. Let's see if we can kill you in one shot. Alright, time for Vasumi Shakti! I never get tired of watching this. Woo! Almost! Nice! Alright, moving on. Oh, your first ticket! What type of EX luck do you have? Jeez! That's insane! To be fair though, I actually got Merlin from my SSR, my GSSR from New Year's this year. So I technically speaking got it from one rule? Technically? Let's do that. Okay, Merlin's almost done. Nice. Swagger, what is this, Pokemon? Well, we're cursed now. Ooh, let us try this. think this should take the thing out, but let's get some MP gains going. Oh, that crit! Nice! Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. And more curse. You mind bumping? You mind poking my dude here so that way he can just MP you to death? No. Okay. All right, let's get you back up here. So Ooh, that was not bad. Almost. Oh, that's not good. Okay. That was a little close for comfort. And now we get to blow you to high heaven. Okay. There we go. Let's do this one. We'll do a brave chain. Get some extra damage how I get. Curious to see how this works. And giant space laser. Or sun laser, I should say. Okay, so you got Rider. Okay, so you got Rider Ultra from your tickets. Nice. That's not a bad one. Was Rider Alter on your like list of servants that's what you wanted to get, or did you want somebody else a lot more? Oh, I got Arrowhead. One that is needed of many for William Tell, which I do not have. Alright, next one. Ooh. Lancers and Berserkers. No, this is not changing. We're still doing this. Where do you think we're not going to be using Karna? This is going to be a test run to see if I want to use them or not. Oh, you need a single target rider. Okay, got it. Yeah. Yeah, the single target riders are kind of rare outside of like Ushi. But she's a 3-star. I mean, she does work and she can do like a crap ton of damage now. Or at least she will later when she gets some buffs. But still, that's good. That's still good. Were you able to get God, what's his name? The free 4-star Arch Rider? His name escapes me for a moment. Cause I was missing a single target rider as well. Now that I think about it, I think I have all the niches fulfilled. I think I have a single target and then a AoE version of all the servants, at least all the main class servants. I think. I don't know. That's a good question. Huh. I'll have to look at my inventory. It's been a while. There are more than I expected. This could be troublesome. Huh? What the fuck? Is there more? Ah! Stay back! Get away from me! And you have Best Girl. Nice! Caster version or a Lancer version? But please, dear God, save me! And you're dead. Oh. Oh, I felt that in my bones. And you died. Ah, yes, caster version. Yep. Like, literally, when Fate Extra came out, and I played Fate Extra long before I did FGO. So when I found that Tamamo was a thing, I was like, yep, I have to play this game, have to get Tamamo. Have to use her and I have used her for most of this game. I love using my Tamamo. I'm still looking for an Arch Servant that's going to best complement her. I mean, I do have Vlad, which is probably the closest thing to that, but I still need to level him up quite a bit. Well, no, I think everything's either at like level 8 or level 9 if memory serves me correctly, so they're decent levels, they're decent. It's my fault. I was one step too late. Anastasia's another, you know what, after Lostbelt 1, since I did that relatively recently, I kind of want Anastasia. She seems really cute. And her character's really interesting. Plus, as a mage myself, I can appreciate anybody who has an affinity for ice magic. Ice or thunder magic, whatever the two. These people have no weapons with which to defend themselves. If their homes are destroyed, there is nothing they can do to avoid being eaten. This is horrific. And Caster Scotty, now you have quite a bit of a collection. That's pretty good. You're in a similar boat than I am. Yeah, I have all of the main, like the big four. So I have Merlin, Tamamo, Scotty, and then Waver myself. So that's legit. And Caster Nero too. Nice. I think I got Caster Nero from my first GSSR, the first one that they ever did. And this is all your Korean account, right? Regardless, that's still pretty good. You have a pretty good account then. I've been focusing on the colony going after the more fragile houses, but there seems to be no end to them. It's becoming a problem. Nice! That's good, that's good, that's good. Yeah, it's unfortunate not everybody's able to go and get the servants and stuff like that, but when you do have them, they do a lot of work. However, I can solely appreciate anybody who goes through this game and can complete this game, because it is possible, and I know there are people out there that have done it, where they use nothing but 3 stars and less. That's really cool. Like, I have mad respect for them. And Scheherazade. That's nice. I think I have a Scheherazade as well. It's been a while. So that might have been for my first account. I don't remember. I could wipe them all out at once with my noble phantasm, but that would also end up destroying the very people and homes we were trying to protect. Yeah, Carter would just face roll everything. It would be great. Then that's definitely not an option. Agreed. This is truly a race against time. Every second counts when eliminating these monsters. Good grief, when I decided to stay out of sight so as not to interfere with your information gathering, I never expected you would end up suddenly fighting such an intense battle. It would seem I'll need to run all instruments at full power so as not to miss any data. So much for my break. Hold it. There's something else headed your way. Many somethings, I should say. And all distinctly different from the creatures you're currently fighting. Huh? Uh-oh. The fuck is that? What are these white beasts? Are they hostile too? Combo from your first multi. Nice. Again, you have very much EX luck, which I can definitely appreciate, and I am super jealous over. I wish I had EX luck. Just do a roll or two and then get the server that I want. Like, what is this? I would love that. I mean, hopefully my rolls for Arjuna Alter goes like that, and I can just get Arjuna Alter, Hot Wheels, and then the caster, the 3-star healer caster, all in one roll, and then I can stop. That would be the dream. That would be the dream. But now, where are these white beasts? No, look, they're attacking the Kali. Are these servants from God Judah or something else? So they're on our side? Not necessarily. Uh-oh. I'm not sure if they eat people or if they hunt Kali and simply mistook us for them. But they're coming after us too. Then I guess there's no point in wondering how these new creatures might affect the situation. We'll just have to follow Carter's lead and put everything we have into fighting back. We can't let harm come to anyone else. Please, give us your orders, Master. And my orders are to Vasavi Shakti everything into oblivion. Because nothing fixes problems, nothing fixes problems more than throwing a giant sun laser at things. When in doubt, sun laser. Totally a model that somebody uses. At least I use it. Zheng Yu? Who is Zheng Yu, if you don't mind me asking? I don't remember that name. It doesn't sound familiar. Up a little bit. Let's use Yep, that's what this one. And now time to get Shakti. I love that the lance turns into the original one was fully released. That's awesome. Woo! Still hurts. Not bad. Zhang Yu? Is Zhang Yu that, the one that comes from the China Lostbelt? The centaur, the kind of centaur, the half man, half centaur with like the 6 swords? Is that Zhang Yu? That sounds familiar. I could be wrong, but is that him? Let's give everybody a buff here. Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's fair. Actually, hold on. There's something I want to check here real quick. Oh! That's interesting! For the longest time, I honestly thought hero creation, the way the buffs work were reversed, that the Buster card effectiveness and the crit strength, the Buster card effectiveness was 1 turn, and then the crit strength buff was 1 turn. Was for 3 turns. It's the opposite. Huh. Not complaining. Okay, that was weird. It started to cut out there a little bit. Well, I mean, since we're doing Buster, let's do that. Yeah, Zhang Yu is actually a pretty cool servant. Oh, that crit though. It's a pretty cool servant for what I remember. He was such a pain in the ass in the last Lostbelt though. Like he just kept coming back. That one fight with him and Consort Yu was a nightmare. Just no, never again, please. Let's get some stars here. You know what? Yeah, let's do this. And you have Abigail too. Good. Abigail's really strong from my understanding. Though personally, I kind of hope she never enters my Chaldea. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure she's a really good servant, but the story and the lore behind her absolutely terrifies me. So she's like the one servant on my list that I hope that never joins my Chaldea. But I feel like one day she's going to, especially during the time of the when the GSSR comes out. She's on that banner, or at least the one that I'm going to be rolling for. And I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified. I would not like to go and deal with that. I do not want an Abby. Give me a Sherlock Holmes, please. Now, the fact that they're not running at like full capacity with their abilities makes me wonder how much damage they should be doing. All right, hold please. So we're gonna kill you. You're definitely gonna die. But we're gonna pause on you. Let's get some buffs going on to make sure that this actually kills. Yes, this is right, I remember you saying you have Jean. I'm assuming you have both Jean. You have Jean Ultra and Jean of Arc, yes? Oh! Wait, oh, not enough. Oh, well. Oh, that's not good! Yeah, you all need to die now. Yeah, you need to die. In the off chance that I can't kill you. Yeah, we're not gonna deal with that right now. That, and then we'll kill whatever's left over. Yeah, Jean was very much one of the first servants I got as well, on the same banner as Vlad. And Vlad and Jean were on the same banner. Lovely tank. I love using it when I can. No, I haven't used it quite as often as I should. Come on. Okay, good. 22 5-stars. That's decent. That's pretty good. I can't say for sure how many I currently have because I haven't checked, but I think I have at least that much. So, much respect! Can legit appreciate that. Unfortunately, no Masturbation. Yeah, let's just go like that.
そこは壁もなく城もなく二世の始まりの空魂のありかを見せようか
Yeah, this will probably help with the MP gain and the health up a little bit. Oh, thank goodness. I forgot I had that up for a second. Ooh, MP2 her ass! Nice! I'm sure the damage that she does is pretty decent. Like, I've used a support Arash just for fun, because there was a point like when I was because I was super far behind the main story for the longest time. So just to kind of get some use, because most of my my supports are leveled outside of Waver. I actually wanted to see about just try out other servers to see if I would want to roll on them. Ishtar was like Resh was really cool, and I think I was able to get the thing where I was able to double NP in the 3-turn time span of her special buff, so I was able to get the 40% buff going around. It was nuts. I do hope I can get her to play around with her a little bit more. She's a fun character, especially that 6 Hearts card of hers, which is that should not exist, but I'm glad it does.
君の道行きを信じよう。さあ、行きなさい。
Yeah, you're gonna be very dead. You're gonna be very dead. I'm sorry to say, but you're gonna be very dead. Oh, you have 3 accounts. How is you managing as far as doing all 3? I thought about maybe doing like another account and maybe going through everything. Like maybe just do like a non-4-star run, or just do a completely free-to-play run throughout the entire story. But I wasn't sure if how easy that was to manage with your own personal account and stuff. I have a lot of catching up to do on this account, so I probably shouldn't be doing that. But I'm curious. Has it been easy to kind of like manage that? God, this music, I love it. I feel bad for the unicorns. Plus Jalter, so yeah, you have the dream team there. That's good. All nearby hostiles have been eliminated. We did it. We finally managed to get rid of all those demonic-looking Kali monsters and the white beast that showed up later. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, they're gone. As I suspected, it would seem those white beasts and the Kali are mortal enemies, given how vicious they attack one another. Oh, you got an altar too? That's nice! I actually got her by mistake! I got her when I was trying to roll for NP5, God, what is his name? I'm blanking on his name. This shows how tired I am. It's been a long day. This is gonna bother me. I cannot remember his name for the love of me. What was his name? God damn it! It's gonna kill me. Izo! God damn it. Okada Izo. I was going through, I actually streamed it. I actually streamed my rolls for Izo. And I ended up getting MP4 of him. But then I decided to do like 3 more rolls. And I ended up getting, on the same roll, I got MP5 Izo. And then I also got Okina Ultra the next one. Because I was like, you know what, why not? Okina Ultra's a lot of fun to use. I used her for quite a bit of like the later half of Babylonia. She did some really good work. It was a lot of fun. Though granted, the one I was using was MP5, so her Noble Phantasm did a shit ton of damage, but, you know, details. Indeed, nor did the White Beast attempt to destroy any part of the town. It was thanks to them that we were able to fend off the Kali. Though, we did have to eliminate them as well, given that they also tried to attack us. Unfortunate. Oh, hey Aji, welcome back. You lot did this, huh? Now you've done it. Uh-oh. Oh, hi, Asha's father. Hope doesn't see you're okay, Asha. Harumph! This guy seems like the big on parties. Oh, you got Musashi on a single ticket. You know, I actually didn't know what all the hubbub was as far as Musashi was concerned, but after playing her Lostbelt 1 and seeing her character, I totally understand why people like Musashi. She's probably one of my favorite. She's probably higher in my tier for character as far as sabers are concerned. She's definitely adorable. If I do get, like, the nice thing is, as far as the GSSR that's coming around, a lot of the servants that I just, like, I'm not going to roll for them specifically, but if I got them to be pretty cool, are all going to be on that banner. So, if I get pretty much anyone from that banner, that list from NA, I'm going to be content. I can't wait for that banner. Only a month away. It's going to be fun. Can you tell us what these things are? At first, I figured these guys were from the other side of the mountain, since they don't pray. But I guess they really are a bunch of Ulu who don't know anything about the Kali. Is that your word for mages? That seems to be a running theme. Either way, I don't want any part of this trouble. What's there to tell? If you lot know what's good for you, you'll get out of here as soon as... Mister, are you guys okay? You are? That's astounding. Astonishing. I'm so glad you're alright. I'm glad you're alright too, Asha. Or at least to see you're not hurt. Yeah, I'm okay. But Vihan's, well... Oh no! Oh no! Puppy got hurt! I never took those fuckers out, but Puppy! I see. He's dragging his leg. Poor thing. Oh! Okay. So you also got Mysterious Heron X Alter too. Magade Alter. Man, you have some serious luck. I gotta ask, has all the servants that you've wanted, have you rolled on them and just gotten them outright? I'm generally curious. Like I said, that's some crazy luck you got going on there. Yeah, he got caught under a cabinet that fell down when our house started shaking. I'm sorry, Vihan. Oh, the whining. That's so sad. Wow. God, is there any value in a dog that can't run? Well, don't say about the puppy. What happened? The Kali are dead? And the sacred beast? Hello, who are you? I'm Prakash? I believe, I don't know if that's pronouncing the name. If I'm pronouncing it correctly, I apologize. Prakash, the town mayor. Are you travelers? Do you know anything about this disaster? We do. These beasts attacked us, so we killed them. You what? If you would like a full account, then call your finest scribe. It would be such a waste for me to recount my exploits without somebody present to record them. Oh boy, Rama. Oh boy. What? I think what we did is really bad. What have you done? How could you have killed the very agent of our god that keeps us safe? We didn't have a choice. It was self-defense. Agreed. There was no other way. What more? They were not the only ones we killed. That's right. We also fought creatures that you call Kali. Please understand, we're only trying to protect your town. Ha! Don't be ridiculous. There's nothing to understand. What you have done is unforgivable. It goes against every law of this world. Besides, the god's sacred beast would never attack people without a good reason. Ah, this is terrible. I'm sure Arjuna has something to do with this, but geez. One time my friend couldn't get Caster Nero on his account, I did this like single summon and got it for her. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, you got some weird EX luck going on there. I can appreciate the EX luck. That's awesome. If we incur the God's wrath, if he thinks our town allowed, oh, hold on. If he thinks our town allowed, or worse, encourage your vile deed, we'll all be done for. Go away. Leave our town at once. You're no longer welcome in Bishu. Uh-oh. Yeah, get out of here. You damn hereticals will get us all killed. Oh no. Could they be those people I've been hearing rumors about lately? Does this mean we're going to be suffer divine punishment? Well, this is unexpected. They look like they might start throwing sodas at us at any moment. What do you have us do, Master? Let's get out of town for now. My first star on NA is Marjorie. Nice. Another good servant. And that's with all the busting she got. I agree. It would be to gain any more information under these circumstances. Besides, I think we should try to avoid trouble with the locals as much as we can, as possibly can. Let's go look for somewhere outside of town to set up camp. Woo! Poor travelers. Any more? No, we're just going back. Ah. Nice. Okay, so there's 2 more left. What time is it now? Okay, so it's almost about 3 hours, and I normally don't stream for about. I normally stream about 3. I think I'm gonna call stream here. I didn't really take a break like I normally do because I was super invested in the story, but I think we'll be good for the time being. Let's say, because I don't know. Well, since it's quote unquote the newest story for right now, I think that I think because this is going to be the newest story for right now, we have plenty of time to actually complete the story. So this might be a little recurring thing that we do outside of like events and everything like that, as far as the story is concerned. So this is a decent good start at the very least. Oh, really? So when you got Mordred, you didn't get any other 5 stars. That's rough. All that luck went to the single power that is the single Mordred roll. Man, that always sucks. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think what we'll do, what we're gonna do is the next time I go, and I think I have some room in my schedule next week to go and do this. Let's continue the story next week. I think that would be a really good. I think it would be like a little good like mini series to kind of complete these. I have other games that are going to be on the channel as well, so I like to kind of keep the variety up. So if it gets close to it, we might have a time where we might do like a double stream of like FGO back to back. So we'll see. Real quick. Oh, until next year. Got it. So what might happen? At least for the next couple of days, we'll be continuing Mega Man Zero next week. So we'll see as far as how we can get from there, since we're going to be kind of like at the halfway mark of the game. We might be able to complete the game by then. I doubt it, but we might be able to do it like in 2 more streams, but we'll see. I don't know if Arjuna Ultra is going to come out in the next couple of days. I have an inkling that his banner might come out next week. And if so, and it happens to coincide with the day that I do banner, the rolls, we'll do a live session of Gacha Hell. So we'll do a live recording of Gacha Hell. I think that would be a lot of fun. And then we'll continue the story on from there. And that will literally be like the first thing that we do. From there, like if not, then I'll do like I always do, and just do like a separate recording episode, and then I'll post it on my Twitter channel. But yeah, until then, thank you all so much for everybody who's here. Thank you for some new faces that we got here. Katana, I'm speaking with you. Thank you so much for coming in to chat. I appreciate it. It's always nice to have somebody to chat with. On NA's BB, you couldn't get BB at any other 5-star. Ah, that's rough. Hopefully, whenever she comes back, if she comes back, you're able to get her. But yeah, big thanks to you, Katana, for coming out to talk. It's like I said, it's always nice to have somebody to talk with when you're doing the games and stuff like that. But if you want to, next week, like I said, I'll be doing this again. So if you're interested, feel free to stop by. Or for any of my other streams. I pretty much do like variety stuff. So if there's a game that fits your fancy, go for it. Let me go ahead and get my links here real quick. Do-do-do. Alright then, so this here is all my links for my link tree. So basically everything, my Twitter and my YouTube page are both there. My YouTube page is where I post all my VODs, so the VOD for this episode for FGO will be on there. And then I have my Twitter account, which also has, excuse me, which is probably the best way to get me for announcements as far as what I'm going to stream, and the best place to talk with me as well. Also, I'm looking, I do have my series for Gacha Hell, which I'm looking to go ahead and, which will be starting again in the next week or so. So look forward to that, but you'll also be able to get to see all my crazy rolls since I've started VTubing. Wow, 250! Damn, that's rough. But let's go ahead and see real quick who we're going to go and raid. Ooh! Mia's playing Valorant! Let's go put Mia! Oh, my buddy Mia is doing stuff. Okay, we're gonna go, but Mia's gonna play Valorant. Mia's a variety streamer as well. She's an adorable little puppy who you should give lots of love and head pats and things to. But she does play a lot of looter shooter games and first-person shooters as well, and she's pretty damn good at them too. So that's your type of deal. Go ahead and check her out. Until then, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you. Oh, 100 quartz. And then 100 quartz afterwards. Man, that's rough, Katana. Well, I will all see you on Saturday, and maybe even in an episode of Gacha Hell. But until then, guys, take care. Have a good one.